Cool. Well, I'm Nate, and so I used to play with my cousin WWF, the first ones. So we used to wrestle, but I don't really have a favorite because now the ones that I used to like are all racist, and I don't like that. Times, but Bret Hart, which is who I based Flynn off, because again he doesn't end. I'm just Flynn. Is one of my favorites because I used to have to play him when we were in the games. Yeah. And rocks the pink. I like a man who can rock black and pink.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, hi, I'm Steph, and I play Frankie. My favorite wrestlers, I have two. The first one would be Triple H, because I'm in love with him. He's my husband. He is married to Stephanie, and my name is Stephanie, so he's married to me. And my second one would be Heartbreak King, Shawn Michaels, HBK, because he's just good looking and he's got legs that just don't stop. And then they two get together to tag team, and I like that, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's me. That's who I love. I mean, that's who I like. It's fine. Not a fantasy of mine at all. Somebody else, please go.
Okay,
Go,
hi,
Poppy.
I am Poppy. I play Ada for the Tiefling Rogue, and in terms of wrestling, okay, so I was never a huge wrestling fan, but I tried to learn a couple because I had a real big crush on a guy who liked wrestling, and I was
best
like,
reason.
oh, yeah,
It's always the way.
I was like, I really like the Undertaker, which I actually like. I think he's kind of cool. I like his gimmick. And I don't know if he's still wrestling or alive, but that's okay. And also, like, I can't get past
John
John
Cena?
Cena. Like, he's just adorable. Like, he's just a dad now,
He's
and I
so
love it.
cute.
Yeah, he's a sweetie. So those are my two favorite wrestlers.
Oh, very nice. Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz, and similarly to Poppy, I'm not a big wrestling person. I just, sometimes I don't know. But whenever I watch wrestling, I enjoy it. It's just not something I seek out. So I really enjoyed sometime last year. I think it was last year or the year before. Everything blends into one for me. But I really enjoyed the Bray Wyatt storyline with the Firefly Playhouse.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really fun, really creative. I had a really good time watching that. Almost drew me into WWE. It almost got me.
They fired
but
him
I
later,
also-
so not a great response.
Well, then maybe it's good they didn't get me in because then I would be paying money to see someone who isn't there anymore. But whatever. But that's I really enjoyed watching that, and I also do really like John Cena. Every time there's an article about John Cena, it's like John Cena continues to be a really cool human being who
Yeah.
takes care of kids
Yeah.
and enjoys his work and is a nice guy. So good for him. Good
It's
for
hard
John.
it's hard to dislike that man, really, like, because he
Exactly.
keeps doing
It
super
is.
nice stuff.
And he handsome too, sir.
Yeah, he's pretty handsome.
Fun fact, actually one of the first, I think maybe the first episode of wrestling that I ever watched, just randomly, was the night that he debuted, just randomly had his very, very first match against Kurt Angle. That was like the very first night I like sat down to watch wrestling, which is like kind of a fun little story.
That's pretty cool.
And for our special guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. My name's Jordan Hunt. From the Waikato. I've played with a number of the lovely people around me before in our local game. And I'm a huge wrestling dork. I've watched it since I was a little kid, bonded with my dad over it, only to find out later in life he hated wrestling. He only got me to watch it because of how much it wound up my mother. So that was a revelation. Favorite wrestler of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
Stone Cold.
Don't you start. Absolutely love Stone Cold. Unfortunately, career was ended way too early. So I think one of the the wrestler I enjoy watching most today is Orange Cassidy. If you know, you know. Hopefully, a few people.
Someone must know.
A couple of wrestling fans out there,
Surely.
not just all D&D dorks like us.
Yeah. But
Why not both?
Crossover of those two circles, like.
both, yeah.
And I'm Penny D. I'm going to be your DM today, and my favorite wrestler is Eddie Guerrero because he's got cool pants and he is my puppy. And he lies and he cheats and he steals, and that's about all that we need to know. Fortunately, today is both a wrestling podcast and a D&D podcast. So I do have a couple of things that I would like to cover before we jump into the show. First of all, I have a job for the audience. So audience, the Twitch chat is part of the screen today, and as we're doing a wrestling show, I need you to be the wrestling audience as well as the Twitch audience. So and this is going to have mechanical implications on the characters, but I want to hear cheers, I want to hear boos, I want to see what in the chat, like
What?
if the so we're playing an audience inspiration mechanic today, where if you get over with the audience, then you can get yourself some inspiration, and if the audience boos you, then you're going to get some disadvantage. So
Oh my god.
I'm really hoping that the audience will decide to get involved. I want to hear lots of cheers, lots of boos, lots of lots of you suck, and like all of the cool wrestling references. Anyone who knows that one got extra points with me. Our very fun, very beautiful mod Dusty. From time to time, if you could just post that in the chat and let people know if we boo the bad guys, do they get advantage? I'll decide later. But Dusty, if you could just once in a while let the audience know, hey, by the way, the audience is going to be the wrestling audience as well as the Twitch audience. I think that would be really fun. Just a couple more things before we start. JBPC currently is on break from posting, so we're currently doing the Yisan charity stream. So some of us here in the show are involved with the Yisan charity stream, which is the channel that you're on right now, which is a 24-hour Dungeons and Dragons live show. With we're going to be doing it in August, and we're going to be attempting to raise $10,000 for the Cancer Society here on Twitch. Last year we raised was it 6,250-ish for Starship. This year we're going to aim for 10k. There's a ton of cool stuff that you can get. We've got really good giveaways. We're going to have you can win prizes, I'm pretty sure, and maybe I don't want to spoil this just yet, but I think we might be giving away a PS5 during the show. It's going to be pretty exciting. But if you're here and you enjoy today's show, come and be a part of the Ascent Charity stream. Even if you don't enjoy today's show, because only there's still 50 other people who are involved with that show. So even if you don't enjoy today's show, you might enjoy some of the rest of it. Help us raise some money for a good cause. And after the Ascent Charity stream, which is the end of August, Janice and Briffords will return to posting new episodes again. So we've got our next arc, which is called Reservoir Employees, which we're about to finish recording, which is going to be really cool. And then after that, we've got we're almost finished recording Reservoir Employees, and then we're going to start our arc after that, which, sneak peek for people who are here and loyal to our show, is going to be called The Domain of the Ordinary. So we've got a couple arcs ready to go. These guys don't even know anything about that arc because they haven't started it yet, so that's going to be really cool. Jordan, have I spoiled that one for you yet?
No, you haven't.
Okay, cool. I'll do that later. That's good. You can keep that to yourself today then. All right. So that's it. How about we stop doing announcements and we start playing some Dungeons and Dragons? How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah,
Love that.
I'm ready to roll some dice.
Yeah,
okay.
let's get into it. So, the world of Matt Zemler is a world without magic. It is a world without gods. And yet, in the Ymir City Entertainment District, at the big stadium arena, a crowd is gathering for a special type of worship. It's Saturday evening, the people are abuzz with excitement. T-shirts are being sold, refreshments are being purchased, everyone's carrying really big signs and foam fingers and number one and you can't see me and all that stuff. The lights, the glamour, the pungent smell of sweaty nerds. MZW, Matt Zemler Wrestling, has come to Ymir, and the city has come alive. Like I said, there have been no deities in this world for over 150 years, but everyone knows that when you stand in that ring, victorious over your opponent, a certain sensation, not unlike magic, fills the room, and a mortal in tights with a big gold belt can become a god for one night only. We zoom into the arena doors as the crowd is filing in, to 4 familiar Parchment Company employees making their way in with the rest of the audience. One of you looking more excited than the rest. Would you guys like to introduce your characters for the audience?
You go,
Same
Liz.
round?
Oh,
Me.
yeah, go, Liz, you go first.
Eating breakfast. Karen is a dwarf of culture, and that's why she's here today. To get a taste of the culture of the common people, of which she is one, of course, even though she is a stonecutter by marriage, one of the most prominent families in Ymir City. But it doesn't matter, because she's here tonight with her fellow employees of the Jonas and Brefford's Parchment Company as a team-building exercise, which she's very excited about the team-building exercise, but she's not too sure about the wrestling, to be honest. Seems a little bit... she's not quite sure if she's going to enjoy it or not.
So a
There's
little...
good, lots of shouting and lots of wrestling, and she's a little bit nervous.
So Flynn, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Yeah, so Flynn, not me. So Flynn is a halfling bard, and he is an astute salesperson. He also comes from the upper class, not so upper as Karen, not royalty. But he loves a good sporting event where he can place a couple of bets and watch laymen lay each other out. So he's pretty excited that this new form. He hasn't been to wrestling before. So he's a little bit, he's going to have to kind of play by ear where he's going to place his bets. It's a little bit risky, but he kind of likes that sort of excitement. So, yeah. And under his hat is tucked away trusty Welby, which is my little newborn fairy dragon, or tiny dragon, which is a recent friend for him who he's getting to know.
Just a little baby, just very, very recently hatched, isn't it?
Oh, freaking cute.
Yeah. So, just a little bit of background before we move on. So what actually happened here was, Flynn, you actually got these tickets as a sales bonus for selling Poster Reel to MZW, and you were going to give them away. You got given 4 tickets, and you're like, I don't want these. But one of our remaining characters found out about it and went nuts and dragged everybody out here tonight. So which one of you, Poppy and Steph, which one of you is the wrestling nerd in the group?
I think that Frankie would be like an undercover wrestling nerd.
I agree with you.
Yeah, okay, yep. It would be Frankie. Frankie, everyone has to have that one weird, like, hobby that you don't think, like, you wouldn't say that person's into, and it is Frankie.
Oh, that's a good future, like, trivia thing. Like, what's the hobby that you wouldn't think I'd be into? Okay, so would you like to introduce Frankie to the crowd?
Okay, so Frankie is pumped. He's wearing probably like one of the local heroes t-shirt designs. He's got books in his bag about like wrestling and like past matches, and he has all the stats on like, oh, such and such one, is really good against this other guy, but not really good at this one. And he's the current, heavyweight champion. Like, he knows everything. He's just pumped up. He's like, okay, guys, don't listen to this guy's his storyline's horrible. He's blah. But then this guy, he killed his brother and slept with his wife, and now he's got a kid, but then the kid's not his, the kid's the other guy. Like, he knows all of the storylines. Yeah, he's pumped.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I will be dragging you to the bookie.
Is all this real, Frankie? It seems awfully unhealthy to
We're
be
actually going to touch on
working.
that in just a moment. So we're going to touch on that really shortly. So before we get into whether or not wrestling is real, Poppy, would you like to introduce us to our final party member?
Haters say
Yeah.
it's fake.
You what?
Haters will say this is fake.
So Idafer is a tiefling. He's a rogue, by the way. He is a tall, lanky boy. He's just a teenager. He's what, 18, 19? I forget how long we've been playing now, so I don't know if he's aged yet.
No, he's less than a year, so he's still 18.
Okay, sweet. And he is a little bit he's just going along with Frankie because Frankie's his best friend and he has a little crush on him. And he's like, hell yeah, Frankie, like this is so exciting. Thanks for bringing us along. Even though he's a little bit like he doesn't like wrestling. But he's not about to say that. Like
So you guys have already kind of covered it, so I was going to ask you what your experience was with pro wrestling, but we've kind of already talked about that. So why doesn't everyone here just roll us a quick history check?
okay.
Jordan, you can be immune from the history check. We'll get to why a little bit later.
Solid.
Okay. That is a 5 from Ida, which makes sense.
Cool.
I mean, somehow Karen got a 21,
Yeah.
which is very unusual. Maybe she did some reading before she got here.
I'm gonna 10.
Cool.
Frankie got a 22.
Cool. So
Of course.
Frankie and
That's
Karen,
alright.
you guys know that wrestling is fake, right? Like it's just a bit of silly fun and choreographed stunts. Frankie, like you can still love it. Like you can still know, but the thing is that when you love wrestling, you know more about like the backstage politics and you know more about like how the training schedules work and stuff. Like you can still love it and know that it's not real. That's fine. The other
Wrestling
two,
is real.
the other two, Flynn and Idafer, you're really not sure. Like, you've not really spent enough time looking at wrestling to be able to tell yet, like, is this real? Is it not? Like, I saw that one dude, like, grab someone else by the head and spin around him a bunch of times. There's got to be, like, some kind of reality to that, right? Like, who's to say? So anyway, you guys are on your way to your seats, and you're making your way through the crowd. You feel free to just roleplay for a little bit, and I'll step back into the DM shadows.
So Flynn goes up to Frankie and he's like, you know the lay of the land. I'll split this 50 gold with you to make a bet. You tell me who to bet on. We're gonna get this. Are you in?
I interrupt because I hear them. I'm like, Flynn, I don't like this. Isn't horse racing. This is.
There'll be a bookie somewhere.
Is there a bookies, Frankie? Like really?
I mean, that is the dark underbelly of wrestling. There has been, talks of people throwing matches to, help the people win bets, and I don't usually participate in such things. But if I did, I would put my money on James, the giant heartbreak kid, Stevenson.
James the Giant Heartbreak Kid Stevenson, writing that down.
to win a match. But you didn't hear that from me, and I didn't hear that from somebody else, and that person didn't read it online on the blog that I follow religiously. Go with what your heart says, but go for him.
Putting 50 on Jameson. So I'm gonna back off and do that quickly.
Cool. Roll me a perception check.
It's just more than that one.
You can re-roll that because you're a halfling.
Yeah. Which is why I always play halflings. Just
Halfling.
FYI, everyone. I always roll at least 4 ones in a go.
And that one's so much fun.
Frankie loves rolling natural ones.
We know you do, honey. You roll them all the time.
So I went from a nat 1 to an unnatural 25. So I'm pretty
Nice.
pleased with that.
Okay, so you do find a bookie. They do seem real shady, but you do manage to make your bets. So you can cross 50 gold off of your inventory. And if James the Giant Heartbreak Kid Stevenson wins his match tonight, you will make 350 gold out of that. Spoiler alert: he's not going to.
It's already said very clearly that Ida's
We shall
gonna
see.
win. So
Yeah. So anyway, so you guys make it to your seats, and you have really good seats. Like you are you are on the opposite side to all the celebrities, so you can see the celebrities on the ring side. You are also on the ring side, so you are like the barrier is right in front of you, There is no people are sitting in front of you. You got really, really good seats right at ringside, and the show starting to go, right? Like the lights are coming on, everything's going good, and then you hear, "No chance, that's what you got." And from the top of the ramp, off to your right, you could see a dwarf man wearing a suit, kind of like walking with a really wide gait, as though he's smuggling grapefruits in his pants. And of course, Frankie, you would know that this person is Mr. McDwarf, and he comes out down to the ring, and he gets up into the ring and he says, "Welcome, Ymir City, to MZW. I just would like to shout out for a minute some of the celebrities here in the crowd tonight." And he goes ahead and gestures to the very famous punk band Grunge Bucket, who is here in the crowd tonight, which, as we know, is one of Idafa's favorite bands.
Adam freaks out. You didn't know they were going to be here.
He lists a few other rich people and celebrities. There's a couple of, there's like a famous painter, and there's like a very good saxophonist. Did someone just oh, there we go. I was like, the picture just disappeared, but that was probably supposed to happen. And actually, one of the people who he shouts out is someone that you guys might recognize because the show is semi-canon. Up on one of the balconies, he gestures to a very, very pale-looking woman in kind of like military regalia and refers to her as the Admiral. So could you guys go ahead and please roll me some perception checks?
Okay.
Oh, not great. That's a 13 for Karen, and
Cool.
she's kind of miffed that she didn't get called out because she is, after all, quite an important person, or her
Yeah.
husband is at least within the city.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we don't point out the celebrities' wives. We just point out the celebrities. Perception checks, guys?
I got an unnatural 20.
Very nice.
Flynn got a 15.
15, yeah.
Frankie got a 21.
Cool. Frankie and Idafa, you guys are like standing up and like applauding the celebrities, as the audience is supposed to do. Woo, Grunge Bucket, boo, rich people, all that stuff. Very nice. By the way, the audience, fantastic work from the audience so far. Just a reminder that the audience, when the audience makes noise, that will have mechanical effects later on for the actual wrestlers. That's going to be really fun. Idafa and Poppy, you guys look up and you can see the Admiral, and they're standing very serious, but they're like, "Woo, wrestling!" And next to them, you can see they're like holding the hand of someone. There's a little boy with like a combed over hair and like a little school uniform on, who is like holding the Admiral's hand and just going absolutely like ape shit. Like, he's screaming and he's having a good time. You guys have no idea who that kid is, but like, he's holding hands with the Admiral, which seems odd.
Really?
Cat.
How dare they have feelings? And maybe family.
Yeah. So then, Mr. McDwarf, after announcing all the celebrities who are here, he gets out of the ring and he goes to sit at ringside near the bell and the timekeepers. And then some music starts to play. Jordan, what kind of music does the audience hear, and who do they see making their way to the ring?
The music is uplifting. It's loud. It's vibrant, and with a flourish from the curtain appears a human wearing a dragon mask, El Drogo. The mask is ornate and intricate, depicting two large red dragon eyes with big horns. The rest of his costume, not so much. You're unsure if he's forgotten his ring gear or just has a very strange sense of style. He's currently wearing orange MC Hammer-esque pants with brown wrestling boots laced up.
Jordan, and if you like, you can actually drag, if you have any images of your character, you can feel free to just drag them, drop them into the whiteboard. I didn't ask you to prepare them, so if you don't want to, that's totally fine. Anything else happen on the way down to the ring as part of the entrance?
You do notice a couple of times he stops, waves to the crowd, begins flexing for the people in attendance. And even when standing still, his white cloak is billowing crazily out the side.
Cool. Does he have a partner?
He doesn't initially. However, when he gets down to the ring, he points back at the curtains, and appearing seemingly out of nowhere is another El Drogo, hued in blue completely, like some sort of astral projection. The second El Drogo begins strutting down to the ring, doing the exact same thing, waving to the crowd, posing for those in attendance. And eventually they both make their way to the ring.
Very nice. So the audience is loving the energy of your entrance. And can everyone just go ahead and just roll me an Arcana check or an Insight check? Everyone who's not Jordan.
5. Karen doesn't know what's going on.
I got a 19.
Did you roll Arcana or Insight?
They're both the same, but I'll say Arcana.
Cool.
Frankie rolled a natural 20
Nice.
on Arcana.
Cool.
So I'm got a 19.
For Insight or Arcana?
Arcana.
Cool. So Poppy, you notice that like once El Drogo is in the ring, right before the second El Drogo appears, he reaches like into like behind him into his cape, and you see a very familiar like little blue shine coming from underneath his cape. Frankie, you know for a fact that by looking at this the second El Drogo, that this is some kind of like magical construct. But also because you got a natural 20, like there are people in the audience, like the Admiral, who should know that too, but for some reason they're just cheering and they're just having a good time, and like no one is reacting like they're seeing magic happening in front of them.
Frankie is doing that as well. He knows.
Yo, we just got a party of 451 rate us with the secret subject. Welcome everyone. We're doing a wrestling live show. Hello everybody.
Wrasslin!
Welcome.
So you guys are like, okay, something weird's going on here, but nobody else seems to be reacting negatively to it. And then so you hear some music starts, like boom, 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 boom. And then two humans with long hair come out to the top of the ramp, and one of them's going like this, and one of them's got like face paint on, and of course it's the Softy Boys. Like everyone knows the Softy Boys, right? These are like our favorite like stepbrother wrestling duo.
That's what you're doing.
And it's going to be a great tag team match, right? We've got El Drogo, and what is El Drogo's partner's name, Jordan?
El Drogo's partner's name is El Drogo.
we've got the El Drogos versus the Softy Boys, and the Softy Boys, like, they come down to the ring, and you know they've got like they're really high energy, but they're wearing like really polite like hand knitted Christmas sweaters, and they come in, and it's like, Frankie, you would know, this is like a face versus face match. The Softy Boys are like really, really well known. The El Drogos are like just sort of starting to climb. Like you've heard of them before, but you know, not as much. And also, hello, secret subject. Thanks for coming to raid us. And we hope that you guys have a good time. Just so we all know what's happening, because we just got so many people join at the same time. We're doing a wrestling live show for D&D, and if the audience is making noise or booing or, you know, reacting to what is happening, you guys are the wrestling audience as well as the Twitch audience. So if I see cheers, if I see woos, if I see people like holding up signs in the audience, that's going to have some mechanical advantage for the players. And if I see people booing, if I see people reacting to heels, that's going to have some negative consequences. So just so everybody knows. And then as the Softy Boys get to the ring, they come in, and then something happens. The ring inside the arena and the surrounding area goes dark. And everyone's like cheering, and like there's a few people that are confused, but everyone's like having a good time. But you guys are like, okay, the ring is dark, but the arena seating is all still well lit. Something's going on here. And when only a couple of seconds that the sort of like darkness is surrounding the ring. And when the darkness fades and the ring is illuminated again, El Drogo, you can see that where the Softy Boys were standing, there's now 2 figures covered in like black blankets.
Egads. Yeah. We'll get you still. What have you done with the Softy Boys?
There's no response. Just 2 figures standing there with like black sheets over them.
As a good showman, El Drogo will try to keep up the act, begin posturing a little bit. Fair to say, I don't know who these people are.
No, you have no idea what's going on.
After a little bit of posturing and trying to get the crowd behind me, El Drogo would attempt to lunge forward and lock up with one of the 2 figures.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me an attack roll. And also you can have 1 audience inspiration because there's somebody in the audience who's cheering for you.
Yay!
So you have like a DM inspiration, and just so you know, in the show, when you roll with inspiration, you add the d20s together. It is not a just regular advantage.
It's a big one.
But you can only save 1 at a time.
Okay, the mighty fists of El Drogo rolled an 18.
Cool. So you
yeah.
like it's pretty easy to hit someone who's completely covered with a blanket, right? And so what are you doing? Are you like doing a punch? Are you doing like a flying attack? Is this a clothesline? What's your attack look like?
Initially, I would run up and try to body check the figure, see if I could knock them back a wee bit, barging into them with my shoulder.
Cool. Yeah. So you do that. You like run in and like body check them, and it felt like you just ran into like a brick wall. There's like absolutely no give happening here. You did hit, and so what happens is the blanket comes off as you like stand on the bottom of it, and underneath the blankets, the Softy Boys have changed. They now have blue-green skin, long white hair, big long claws coming out of their hands, and they're both wearing different animal skulls on their heads. One of which is an ape skull, and one of which is a bull skull. And they're quite big. Like, you ever seen Rey Mysterio like square up to Big Show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now, is that you ran into this guy, you barely hit him, the blanket came off, the other guy removed his blanket, and there's these, like, what looks like actual monsters in the ring, facing you down. And the one that is in front of you, which is the one with the bull skull, is going to roll an attack on you. That is a 23. What is your AC?
God.
Well, that is well and truly a hit. My AC is 14.
Yeah, so the big green guy with like, weirdly enough, still wrestling trunks, but like the big skull on his head reels back and does like a really big punch. And I'll just roll some damage on that.
While this is happening,
Yeah.
Ida's going to turn to Frank and be like, "Whoa, these effects are really good. Is it
Yeah.
like, is this the usual shtick? Like,
roll me an insight check. We're going to come back around to you both. Frankie and Ida, roll insight checks. And like El Drogo, you stumble back, and you know that you can't communicate it with anyone outside the ring, but this was not planned, as far as you know, and that hit really hurt.
Ow!
Take 9 bludgeoning damage.
Whoa, that's a lot of bludgeoning damage.
Rough.
It's a
And
rough
then
one.
the other Oni, the one with the ape mask, is going to go ahead and punch the other El Drogo, the blue one. Does a 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
Cool. And it's going to go ahead and take 1d8 plus 4. So the other El Drogo is going to take 7 damage.
It disappears.
Interesting.
Yes,
Back to Poppy and Idafer.
you mean Poppy and Ida and Frankie?
Yeah, those two. What did you guys roll?
Ida got a unnatural 20 on insight.
Cool. Okay.
Frankie rolled a natural 1 on inside.
Frankie, this is just all part of the show, baby. Like
This is it.
you've heard before that MZW's got really high production value, and that's probably what's going on. And you turn and enthusiastically tell that to Idafer. Idafer, you're not so convinced because that punch looked like it really hurt, and the other guy got punched so hard that he disappeared, which is not something that should happen to people when they get punched.
So you said we've got really good seats, right?
Yeah, you're right at the ring. You're right at ringside.
Perfect. All right. So, is there any way? Wait, I'm just gonna. Oh no, I can't. Anyway, so ring. Is there a way for me to get closer to like where the monster dudes are, the softy boys?
It is heavily discouraged for audience members to climb the barrier and get into the ring. You would have heard from Frankie that there's stories of people who decided that they wanted to get involved who got their asses kicked in real life. So that's entirely up to you. But Frankie did tell you that this is part of the show, and you're not entirely convinced that it isn't. You're just really nervous, and the crowd around you is all reacting like this is just something that would normally happen. Like everyone's cheering and having a really good time. What are you gonna do?
I am going to. I don't know if I should talk to. Maybe I'll chat to Karen. I'll just lean over and be like, Karen, did you see that Drogo dude? He very clearly had Electrum.
Huh? Oh, I don't know about that, but this is awfully exciting, isn't it? And Karen is out of her seat, kind of standing with her hands on the barrier. She's into it immediately. She was really nervous about coming here. She's gone. She's in the moment, and she's kind of rattling the fence, and she's like, "Get them! Get them, El Drogo! Get revenge! Revenge for your partner!" So she kind of brushes Ido off, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever. Go, El Drogo, go!"
So the two big boys with the skulls. You're right. I did say Oni, and I didn't mean to say that, but yeah, they. So whoever wrote that down, thank you for noticing. They pick up El Drogo and they carry him to the ropes and they throw him. And the four of you realize that he's going to go over the barrier and he is going to land on you. What do you do?
Karen tries to catch him.
Frankie also tries because this is the best day of his life.
I'm going to roll out the way.
Yeah, Flynn's going to move out the way.
Okay, so Idafer and Flynn roll me dexterity checks, and Karen and Frankie roll me constitution saving throws to see if you can catch this masked wrestler who is being thrown like a good 10 feet into where you guys are.
That's
You can roll
15
athletics.
for Ido.
You can roll athletics checks or constitution saving throws if you want.
Okay.
18 for Flynn.
Cool, you get out of the way.
That
That
was a
is
15 for Ido.
Cool, you get out of the way.
22 to catch from Karen.
Cool, yeah.
That's 25 to catch from Frankie.
Cool, yeah. So, El Drogo, like, something's up. Something's weird. This was not part of the script. But these guys pick you up and just toss you. And, like, luckily, you're kind of like a high-flying boy, right? Like, you know how to fall?
Yeah.
Cool. Can you just go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check to see how well you land?
I sure can.
And you can have advantage because both of the people who are catching you rolled over 20.
All right. Acrobatics. It's a 16.
Yeah, okay, not bad. You do manage to not like kick anyone in the face as you land, and luckily, like an extremely strong dwarf and skinny, but for this moment, reliable human managed to catch you. Karen catches you like the bulk of your body, your torso, but your feet are also very helpfully grabbed by Frankie. You are, for the time being, currently outside of the safety barrier.
All right.
But you are, for the time being, you are not like able to move just yet.
Can I just say that as Frankie catches him and, he gets like El Drogo sweat on him, he kind of just like,
He's like, hell yeah.
Oh, this is great. Oh, yeah.
So while... Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, no, just saying that Frankie's very excited to have touched like a pro wrestler, His sweat he's covered in his sweat and he's just having a real good time.
One of the monsters has a little black tube. And when he speaks into it, his voice is amplified to basically like cover the entire arena. And he says, so the one with the bull skull says, "Bony Oni are here. Bony Oni will take this ring tonight, and we will burn Ymir City to the ground."
God!
And the crowd boos. El Drogo, you start to stir, but you're not quite able to move yet. Yeah, Dusty, thank you for the boo. That's great. Yeah, boo, Barbarian. Wait, Steph, are you in the chat?
Yes, I
I'm just wondering, because like Drogo's still kind of like a little bit dazed, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Can I sleight of hand and try and grab some Electrum?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
That is a 24.
Yeah, you managed to find a secret pocket in his cape, and yeah, you give it a little jingle, and it does appear that there's a little bit of Electrum on El Drogo. You know the weight and the jingle that it makes when it's in a pocket. Are you gonna take any, or are you just checking whether it's there?
I'd like to take some.
Okay.
How many Electrum are you gonna steal?
How about I roll a d4 and we see what it lets me get. If that's okay.
By the way, whoever's drawing, I'm loving this, especially the parachute pants and stuff. Well done.
It's fantastic. Great job.
Pants.
I only steal one.
Okay, you steal one Electrum from El Drogo. El Drogo, just roll me a quick perception check to tell me if you feel that.
Absolutely not.
No, you don't feel it?
The last thing on my mind.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of looking back in now, you're still a little bit dazed from what's happening. And as the crowd is booing from what the Bony Oni just said, you hear, "Well, Bony Oni, what exactly is it that you're doing invading my show?" And so Mr. McDwarf has actually got into the ring and he's confronting the Oni. And the Oni responds and says, "Bony Oni not scared of puny Mr. McDwarf. Bony Oni will defeat everyone here and claim this ring and the slab of..." And Mr. McDwarf quickly interrupts. He's like, not out here, not out here. Right then. If you want to take control of this ring, you'll have to go through our best guys. And trust me, you're not getting past them. What do you guys think of my Mr. McMahon voice, by the way?
I like it.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I hope your throat's okay.
At the top of the ring, you can see several people walking down. Sorry, at the top of the ramp, you can see several people walking down. You can see Jeff Angel, the gold-belted, eagle-masked, jorts-wearing hero of the people, leading the charge. Behind him is the snake-like Keith Borton, who's a Yanti villain with tattooed arms. It's like a who's who of the locker room coming down and surrounding the ring. You can see Quadruple J, the Gravedigger, Bulk Bogan, Hot Rock Steve Dallas, all the greats march down the ramp and slide into the ring surrounding the Onis.
I love that you just made Bogan's canon in this game.
Anyone?
And they're all drinking double brown.
Quadruple J got me.
Can anyone name who we're referencing with all four of those guys? Or actually 6 of them?
Hulk Hogan. Bulk Bogan.
Yeah.
Hulk Bogan. Very good. I mean, Quadruple J has got to be Triple X, right?
Well, I mean, that's a Vin Diesel movie, but yeah.
I mean, no.
yeah, Triple H.
Hot Rock Stone Dallas was a nice touch.
And Mr. McDwarf chuckles, and he's like, "As you can see, my foolish friends, this is my ring, and now comes the part where you two are gonna kiss my..." And then the ring goes dark again. Roll me a perception check, everyone, all 5 of you.
Okay.
Lynn's like, this is good theater. I wasn't expecting this.
Perception, did you say?
Perception, yeah.
I don't got 22.
Cool.
Karen got an 18.
Cool.
It's a 17 for El Drogo.
Yeah.
17 for Flynn as well.
Cool.
Natural 1 for Frankie!
I love it.
Frankie, this is the most regular wrestling theater you've ever seen. This is the most normal thing. It's always happening. The rest of you saw one of the Oni you saw one of the bony Oni, the ape one, while Mr. McDwarf was talking, reached into his pocket and pulled out what you're pretty sure was an Electrum coin right before everything went dark. It was actually 2 Electrum coins.
Not even hiding it.
And everybody in the ring is just going nuts. Like, this is super cool. There's like a dome of darkness surrounding the ring and like the area right outside. And then the darkness again fades. And now it is Mr. McDwarf who is the one who is surrounded. Every man in the ring is now replaced with another Oni, with a crocodile, with another animal skull on their head. One of them's a hawk, one of them's an antelope, one of them's a crocodile. All of them, all of the like big, like A+ stars have just been replaced by bony Oni. And Mr. McDwarf looks around, and he looks really, really scared. Hi, Rollstream. Thanks for hosting us over at Rollstream 2, by the way. We love you. Thank you very much for being here. And you guys, like, go based on your, and the hi, Kitty. Based on the same checks that you made just before, Frankie, this is the best wrestling you've ever seen. Regular, normal, story-based stuff.
Bar none.
Jordan, you know for a fact that that this is not supposed to be happening. Mr. McDwarf is genuinely scared, and the rest of you are like, something's not right here. These guys are like using Electrum, and like, where did these extra Oni come from? And like, something's not adding up here. And the crowd is just going absolutely nuts. They're like they're right there with Frankie. They're all the way in on it. They are all marks. The Bull Oni walks forward and grabs Mr. McDwarf by the scruff of his neck and says,
Baloney.
You got it. I was waiting for that.
Oh.
I'll tell you what right now is that when Liv understood what that guy's name was, she squirted me with water last night. She went and got the little spray bottle that we use for our plants, and she was like, you can't call your villain baloney, and then squirted me with it. True story.
Turns out you can do whatever you want.
So the Bull Oni grabs Mr. McDwarf by the scruff of the neck and says, Bony Oni will take your ring and your slab of Kayfabe. This is our show now. And with that, several of the other Oni begin grabbing the dwarf businessman and tying him up with chains. And Drogo, there's a lot happening right now. Something needs to be done.
So I can move again now, yes?
Yes.
I would actually, unless I'd be unceremoniously dumped on the ground, El Drogo is a little bit of a wimp. And staying in Karen's arms, I peer over the barrier and I can see Mr. McDwarf's face, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Frankie's obviously a fan, and I'd be able to tell from the few seconds we've been together.
Yeah. Just from his reactions, he's like all the way into this and not at all suspicious.
No.
I'll try to stand up on the just in front of the barrier, not crossing over it, and yell a few jibes at the bony Oni. I want to keep up appearances, but leaning back down to Frankie and Karen, I say, "Look, this isn't meant to happen. Everyone, all of my allies. Look, play along, but please, can you back me up? I don't want to do this on my own."
Oh, little Drogo.
Frankie's just going to be like, yeah, neither was your loss at WrestleMania 20.
Oh, we can't say WrestleMania. We have to say
Wrestle Rumbly.
Yeah.
Depression.
Wrestle Crazier.
Wrestle Crazier. There we go.
Wrestle Crazier. 2012 against this other guy, but that's fine. You got this. I believe in you. And can I pull out of my bag one of my experimental elixirs that I can make a day?
Absolutely, you can. What are you gonna do with it?
So first, can I roll a d6 to see which one it is?
Go ahead.
So I rolled I rolled a 3, so on the experimental elixir list, a 3 is resilience, so drinker gains a +1 bonus to AC for 10 minutes. So, Frankie, if you've seen, the original, like Looney Tunes Toon Squad one, where it says Mike's stuff on a drink bottle, this one just says Frankie's stuff.
Frankie's secret stuff.
Yeah, Frankie's secret stuff. He's like, here, Drogo, drink this. This will help you.
Do you drink
And
it?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
also, in kind, take off one of my armbands and pass it to Frankie, who's
El Drogo, when you drink the elixir, you feel like a magic power, like emboldening you, and you realize that you seem to have stumbled upon some people who have actual magic powers. Because this kind of thing is like, just drinking someone's water would be more likely to get you sick than give you extra AC.
I look back at Frankie especially, and then the four of you, and kind of raise an eyebrow, questioning.
Frankie's just like so keen. He has little stars in his eyes, and he's just wearing the armband. Yep, best gift of life. Frankie can die now, happy.
So like, I love audience participation shows. It's great.
By this point, Mr. McDwarf has been entirely tied up in chains, and the Bony Oni are holding him above their heads, and they've turned back towards the ramp, and they start addressing the locker room, and they say, "We are Bony Oni! Send us your best warriors! If no one can beat us in 2 hours, Bony Oni will destroy this city and everyone in it!" And the Oni start like posing. They start like posing and flexing their muscles, and just generally just being like big. Thank you, Gaz. Yeah, just generally being like big muscly heels. It's awful.
I'd like to kind of step over the barrier at this point.
Yeah.
Still holding on potentially to Karen's hand, pointing and making accusations at the Bony Oni. Yelling indiscriminately, "Unhand the chairman! You let go of Mr. McDwarf!" Trying to help Karen and the others step over the barrier.
Okay. Do you guys step over the barrier?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Karen
still thinks it's part of the show. Oh, sorry.
Karen kind of is like, "Oh, really? Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Yes."
Cool.
Yes, it's fine. You can trust me. Come with me.
Okay,
everybody,
sure.
just quickly roll me a wisdom check, everyone.
That was
not great.
Jordan, you don't need to.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 21.
Nice.
Pretty good. I got a 5. Pretty bad.
Cool.
I rolled a nat 1 and then went to a 17. So.
Yeah.
Frankie rolled a 15.
Okay. Everyone except Karen. Like once you're over the barrier. The whole thing feels like a lot more real. These guys are big and they're scary, and they seem to have, they seem to be able to use magic. Hi, Steph's flatmate / maybe boyfriend. I don't know. I've never seen him before. Is that your boyfriend?
Yes, it is. That's
I just saw it for the first time. Sorry, never mind. No, we won't draw attention to that. Once you guys are in the ring, something changes, and this feels like a lot more real than it did just before when you were sitting outside on your in your seats. And the Oni are like flexing at you, and they're really big. Like you guys are used to fighting monsters and T-Rexes and mummies and shit, but like these guys are big and there's a lot of them and they look really scary. And for some reason they're doing all this like in front of a big crowd of people, which is like kind of scary on its own because most of the time monsters kind of like don't do this sort of thing. El Drogo, where are you headed?
So they're have they left the ring yet, heading up towards?
No, they're staying in the ring.
Addressing the thing. So I'll lead my 4 new friends around the ring.
Okay.
The entire time, kind of posturing and pointing at the Bony Oni in the ring. Trying to. Yeah. The show must go on.
Yeah,
Every now
Karen's
and
there
again.
as well because her wisdom check was so low. She's right alongside you. She's flexing. She's posturing. She's having a great time. Everyone else is nervous. She does not know what's going on. She's having a good time.
Shout out to
I'll make it-
KP who just said, "Hey, that's the guy I buy my paper from."
Yes.
Yes.
Finn's kind of waving, but then also very aware now that he's a halfling and these people are very, very tall.
Mm.
He's kind of like, ooh,
So you're heading back up the ramp, but you're kind of like giving them the verbal business on the way as you back up.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm quite hurriedly trying to make my way backstage.
Yeah, fair enough. You do make it backstage. The Oni don't pursue you. And like you get back there and you go behind the curtain and everyone is panicking. You can see your coworkers, the other wrestlers who are like stuffing stuff into gym bags and like getting ready to leave. There's like support stuff all scrambling. People are like trying to get help. It is like pandemonium back here. And a short, heavy-set man with a bald head and a ponytail runs up to you and he's like, "Who the hell are you guys? This is a disaster. El Drogo, tell me you have a plan, and you're not gonna run away like all these cowards."
No, of course not. And I look around at Frankie, who's obviously the super fan, trying very hard to keep the bravado up. No, we'll beat them, of course. Yes.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
You can
yes.
do this.
And
Flynn's
like,
like, wait.
Me and my new friends.
Flynn's like, wait, so this isn't part of the show?
and so the man with the ponytail, as Drogo and probably Frankie would recognize as Hall Payman, is like, "No, this isn't part of the show at all. We have no idea what's going on." Drogo, are these gonna be ringers? Like, are you gonna like? We need someone to defeat these guys because the slab of Kayfabe cannot be taken.
Okay.
I'm
A, what are you talking about? And B, don't worry, we're professionals. I'm pretty sure we can handle some
Yep.
monsters.
yeah, and
Very
Ida's just
strong,
like,
you know.
do you guys have any uniforms that we could put on? Because I feel like, and he's doing
Right,
the
when-
stretching at the same time, and he's like, we should probably fit in, right?
When you say that, Frankie was like, "I was born for this," and he rips off his outfit to reveal he was already wearing his homemade wrestling outfit, which, okay, so, you know, Kurt Angle's leotard thing.
Yeah, it's like singlet and shorts, like all in one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's stars and stripes, and sometimes there's a little A on it with a star around it. So Frankie's looks just like that, except it's a little F. And there's a lot of glitter and sequins and stars, and it's very homemade, you could tell. But he worked really hard on it, and he's so proud. He's like, "I'm ready for this."
Okay. Frankie, roll me a persuasion check with advantage because you bought your own uniform from home.
Oh.
That is so gorgeous.
So that is 19.
Yeah. So Hall Payman like looks at you, El Drogo, and he's like, "Cool. Okay, you found some local ringers. Okay, fine. The other three of you, do you guys have your own? Like, do you have your costumes ready, or do you want to just like jump into our wardrobe and grab something?"
Yeah, I'm gonna need something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got anything that'll fit this?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Drogo, take them into the
God.
locker room. Grab whatever you want. We've got masks, we've got outfits, we've got costumes. Like what they're wearing is like no good. Help them come up with some characters for tonight, and then we can get rid of these Oni because this is real shit, and I don't think our insurance is gonna pay out if they steal the slab.
Question, Penny.
Yeah.
So I've got the glamored armor that can change.
Yep.
You know how it looks like. Can I just change that to find some items that I'm like, okay, that looks good. That looks good.
100% you can do that, honey.
Sweet. Yes.
Drogo, you gonna do it?
We'll take care of it. Don't worry about a thing. Leave it to us. Come on, you friends. Follow old Drogo.
So
I'll,
yeah, Drogo leads you.
Sure thing, dude.
Drogo leads you into like a big room full of like costumes and masks and props and like, you know, just all kinds of things in there. There's like tons of, you know, wrestling tights and shorts and all sorts of things. And he tells you guys, oh, so actually Drogo, I'm not going to tell you what you tell the party, so you can go ahead and tell them what to do from here.
After a moment, I sit down and El Drogo removes his mask, revealing a dreadful blonde bowl cut.
Oh,
Frankie is in love.
And he kind of takes a breath and look, help yourself. Masks, capes, tights, boots. The grander the better. Look, we need to defeat those only, but we've still got a show to put on after all. Please, help yourselves.
Cool.
One
So
question,
yeah, go ahead, Karen.
El Drogo. You got any of those little blue coins for us here in the back? Oh, I kind of need some to work properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Electrum.
Yeah. I'll kind of,
no.
I'll kind of my cloak is still kind of billowing, and I'll tuck it around myself, holding it a little bit closer, but the ends are still billowing out. And I might have, yes, if that would help.
Drogo, just so you know, normally you get distributed your Electrum coins from the personal gorilla position right before you go through the curtain. So you're welcome to share your stock, but also you can ask them to. You can like grab some later if you don't want to, because you know you've got a certain amount that's assigned to you. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but you're welcome to if you want.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know that there is a stock of them ready to go when we head out to the ring.
Ooh, cool.
Well, it's good to know we're all on the same page, isn't it? And Karen's kind of warming up. She's kind of doing her stretches. She's doing this. She's going up. She's going down. And who wants to go first for dressing their character? Because I'm still thinking.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead, guys. I want you to come up with names, personas, and costumes for your wrestling alter egos.
Ooh.
Frankie has had his wrestling alter ego since he was like 5,
Yeah.
so he has all the backstory. His name's ready, like he's ready.
Cool. What is his name?
Frankie's name is Frankinator, because I don't know, he's not that creative, but you know,
Cool.
the
Frankinator.
Frankinator. Yep.
Frankinator.
And what's your wrestling persona's personality?
So he is definitely face, so he's not going to be a bad guy because Frankie couldn't be a bad guy
No, of
even
course
if he
not.
tried. So he's just a real good guy that wants to help out everybody and be the best wrestler in the world. He's, you know, wants to be heavyweight champion, except he's like featherweight. So he wants the belt. He wants the gold belt.
Cool. Yeah. So Frankinator, and you kind of dress like Kurt Angle, is that right?
Yeah, so just like Kurt Angle, colors are like red, white, blue, but sparkles and sequins and stars and a cute little F like on the front and 2 little F's on the butt. Because
Oh,
I thought that'd be cute.
Frankie Frankinator.
Drogo, as Frankie's like changing into his wrestling outfit, and do you have any like headgear or anything like on your head, or is it just the tights and the face is
Just the
clean?
tights, because you know Frankie's hair's too wild, and if he would have put on
Yeah.
a mask or something, it would look weird. Like his
Uh,
hair's too wild.
Drogo, you
Bring
notice
out-
that Frankie is good to go. Like he's brought everything from home, including like knee pads. But for
Yep.
some reason, he's wearing a necklace. Like he's wearing like a leather chained little red amulet around his neck. And it's not usually advised for characters or wrestlers to like wear jewelry because it can be hazardous.
I'll make a comment. Hey, kid. Look, you may want to take that off when we go back out there. Don't want to get strangled, caught in something.
Frankie turns around and he has this completely different air about him. He's confident and stuff, and he puts his hand on his shoulders and he's like, "Mate, you don't gotta worry about me no more." And he turns back around. He's not gonna take off the necklace, but he's just doing that sort of Superman pose, ready to go. Like Frankie's like, "Let's get out there. Like we need to get out there and beat these people."
Is you don't gotta worry about me? Is that the Frankenators like catchphrase?
You know what?
You
Yes.
don't gotta
Oh,
worry
You don't
about
gotta
me.
worry about me. Because
Uh,
everyone worries about
more.
Frankie. Yeah.
Okay, Flynn, Idafa, Karen, do any of you guys have like a wrestling outfit or a persona ready to go?
Yep, I do.
Cool, let's hear it.
Cool. So Flynn ducks into a wardrobe and then immediately comes back out like 3 seconds later. And he's wearing like the wrestling leotard
Yep.
tights. And it's purple. And in the middle of his like off to the side on his thigh there's like a big kind of like money sign. And on his fingers is a big oversized like seal ring. And he's like, I am, and he puts on some sunglasses, the contractor. Let's seal this deal. And out from behind his hat, because he's still wearing his hat, pops Welby, who's got a little purple like Ninja Turtle like eye thing on.
Okay, just for a moment, Drogo, that's a fucking dragon. Like that's a very small dragon that this rando that you had in the crowd just like bought out with him, and it seems to be real.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like not something that you've seen in your entire lifetime, in your entire time of traveling. It's a small dragon and it has butterfly wings, but that's a dragon.
And I've also seen them quick change in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I lean in, kind of astounded, holding up my mask next to the dragon, and just, you're not some rival promotion, are you? This isn't all right.
It's an illusion. Welby is an illusion.
Nate, roll deception. Drogo, roll insight.
Ah, shit.
Oh.
It's a 10.
14.
You're
Oh.
not entirely sure if he's being like truthful, but like you don't really want to worry about this because that's like a whole different kettle of fish. That's like a different problem entirely. So
Yeah.
if he wants to say that it's an illusion, you're perfectly willing to not make a fuss about it.
Mm.
Everyone needs a mascot.
Idafa and Karen, either of you guys have a costume? You've been like rifling through all the like any number of like costume items and masks and hats and props and things. Have either of you guys found a costume that you want to wear?
Have you got one sorted, Karen?
I've been doing the art, but I can haven't
I can
been
do
thinking
mine
about
first
it
if
at
you
all.
want.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
I
Go
still
ahead,
won't.
Idafa.
I still won't think about it, but.
So Ido went through all the clothing. He was just picking out the stuff that was kind of like black and a bit sparkly and stuff. And he pops into the wardrobe, puts it on, comes out. Turns out he's actually found the clothing for the ring girl. But it does fit him perfectly because he's a tall, slim boy, and it is kind of cute. So he's wearing like. I'll go.
Oh no, I was going to ask you what your name is, but carry on. You've got more description. I want to hear this.
So he's wearing like sparkly hot pants, and a cute black crop top. And he has decided that he's going to call himself the Shadow Man.
Okay, so just
Lame.
and there actually is a little sign with like round 6 on it that you could carry around with you if you want to.
He's keen to use that as a weapon.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you've got a little sign. It's mostly cardboard, but like
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find a way to hurt somebody with it. Drogo, what do you think of this outfit? Like, do you have any feedback for this one?
I look the Shadow Man up and down and kind of start doing a couple of stretches and squats and try to encourage them to go along and nod my head and say, yeah, comfort really is key out there. I think you'll do well. Yes.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think we'll smash it.
And Karen, I realize that you've been mostly focusing on our amazing art that we have. So while Karen comes up with a costume, does anyone want to like pick up on Liz's art that's been going on here and help us to draw Karen? I can't do it because then the entire stream will fall apart.
No, Karen has been thinking about it very, very briefly, and I believe she's going to try and find a suit, kind of like the one that Mr. McDwarf has.
Cool. Yeah, plenty of business suits in here, all different shapes and
so
sizes and colors.
She's going to try and find a business suit that's like, I don't know, I've seen people wrestle in business suits before. I assume they've got like things that allow you to move in them.
Yeah, why not?
So she's finding a wrestling business suit.
Cool.
And
Like jeggings instead of jeans.
yeah, kind of jeggings-ish. And her name is going to be the manager. And her whole shtick is she is the manager of this group. So she's the one who's she's calling the shots.
Okay.
And
All right.
so she's everybody. So she's got like a clipboard, and she's got like a fake earpiece on, and she's
You mean like a Bluetooth?
Yeah, like a Bluetooth. She's got a Bluetooth on.
I mean, there's no
It's an
technology
actual room.
in this world, so
Like,
like
yeah.
it's just a prop.
It's just a prop.
Yeah.
She's got a briefcase in one hand, a clipboard in the other, and she kind of looks down at herself and she goes, "Yes, I think this will do nicely."
It's like a stone of a sending stone with a little tube coming down to like carry everything back up to the stone.
Yeah, that's about it. That
Cool.
sounds about right.
And so your ragtag group of wrestlers, you've got the contractor, the Frankinator, the Shadow Man, and the manager. All of their names, which is a great group of wrestlers. And El Drogo. Do you want to change your name to the El Drogo, Jordan?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. And the El Drogo.
El Shadow Man.
Oh.
So Hall Payman comes back in and he's like, all right, this will do, I guess. Do you have a name for your little faction here? What are you calling yourselves?
Well, we're the away team. But
Yeah, that
Yeah,
works,
and
Darren. That's good.
Yeah, that works. That works.
is that
Yeah.
is that still good?
Uh,
The away
Drogo,
team?
Drogo,
Yeah,
are you
we
fine
are.
being called the away team?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right, and he's like, okay, fine, but Drogo, you are responsible for these guys. If they get turned into Onis and our insurance doesn't pay out, your ass is on the line, okay?
I give him a smile and say, if that happens, I really don't think I'm going to be around to see the outcome.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys leave the changing rooms in your new costumes. And you could see the few wrestlers who are left, all making a beeline for the stage entrance. And one guy, well, his real name's Michael Shawn, but the name that he goes by, his stage name is James the Giant Heartbreak Kid Stevenson. Like walks up to you, Drogo, and he's like, hey, get out there. The Onis have disappeared, and Jeff Angel's title belt is hanging above the ring. We're gonna have a free-for-all ladder match.
I kind of nod slowly, quickly look behind me, and then bolt out to the ring, running as fast as I can.
Cool. And the rest-
Title match!
and so Drogo's just left. Are you guys following?
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I guess we should go.
Yeah.
I
Before
don't know
you
what the
leave,
ladder
though,
match is.
before you leave, though, Hall Payman like opens a bag and it's just like full of Electrum coins, and he's like, "Yeah, just grab what you need. You guys know the deal with the slab of Kayfabe, right?"
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
You recap?
And he grabs 5.
Cool. Sorry, did you ask for a recap, Flynn?
Yeah.
Okay. He says to you, okay, well, so the deal is, right, is that the slab of Kayfabe is like how we do our business. While you're standing on it and it's underneath the ring in the ramp area, anyone who's not standing on it will just justify anything they see. So they think everything is smoke and mirrors, but really we're like, we can use our powers and everything, and people will see it and they'll just assume whatever they want to assume on the outside. So make sure you're not using any magic. If you're not in the ring in the surrounding area, once you're in the crowd, people are gonna like freak out because you're gonna be using magic in the crowd. So everybody, like, if you're not, yeah. People will think whatever they want to think about wrestling when they're not standing on the slab of Kayfabe, okay?
So
Whoa.
in
Kenny is
theory,
so
if I have,
clever!
so in theory, if I have a tiny dragon that's coming to help me, they'll just be like, "Ooh, that's a cool kite."
Yeah, they'll probably just think it's a puppet or something.
Okay.
Wow, what a sick
meant-
kite.
But the trouble is
I
if
love
those
kites!
the trouble is if those Onis manage to steal it from us, then they will be able to just destroy the city, and everyone will be like, "Oh, my house got burnt down. Oh well." And so we really don't want that to happen because we really just use it for show business, you know.
Yeah, that does sound problematic.
All right,
Thanks
grab
for
some
the
No,
update.
we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Everything will be fine. It'll be okay.
I'm going to admonish you about how the Onis even know about this thing later. So
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
see you soon,
okay, take some
and
Electrum.
we'll have a talk.
We'll have a
Karen-
talk.
Yeah, we'll have a talk. Karen puts 20 Electrum into the briefcase.
Yeah, I guess if you're helping yourself, ain't no need to limit it. That's fine.
Yeah, she scoops it into the
Oh.
briefcase. 20 Electrum.
Cool.
Ah.
Flint
Uh,
also wants 20 Electrum. I like 20.
Okay, remember that this is semi-canon, so after the show is over, you no longer have this Electrum, okay? You can't keep it for main story.
I want 40 Electrum!
I want 1 million Electrum!
I
No,
hope six
20,
will be
let's say
enough.
20 is the max, so you guys can take 20.
Okay, we'll just say 20.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And, let's say you guys all take 5 each, and then Karen as the manager, you've got some extra ones that you can, like, hand out to people if they run out. Does that sound fine?
Oh, okay.
That's a good idea.
Is that cool, everyone?
That is
I
not
like
20
that. That's a cool
Electrum.
idea.
Okay.
Real cinematic
I-
moments of her throwing us an Electrum.
Cool. And
Yeah.
last thing, you guys are about to do your I don't have music to play, and he pulls back a little curtain, and there's like a very haggard looking half elf wearing a one-man band suit, who's like, "Okay, what kind of music do you guys want me to play for your like way down the ramp? Like I play anything."
EDM.
He's like, "Got it." And
What's
then like
electricity?
and then he's like, "Okay, all right, let's do it." And he starts like playing really good like EDM through his one-man band suit. And Hall Payman like holds the curtain open. He's like, "Get out there!"
You
All
also
right.
hear El Drogo from down at ringside screaming, "Time to meet the away team!"
Nice.
Pointing
Oh,
at
no.
the curtain.
Yeah.
Karen,
Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Karen is suddenly overcome with stage fright, and she goes, "Oh, you all go first. You all go first." And she kind of pushes everybody else through the curtains before they have any time to react.
Cool. I
And
want
I-
all
I-
of you to roll performance checks for your
Mhm.
entrances.
I was gonna
Oh.
tell Karen that she should pretend everyone's naked, so would that make it a disadvantage? Or...
Flynn rolled a 19.
19. Very nice.
Uh,
Frankie.
I don't-
Nice. Oh, Frankie's like in there. He is so in there. Ida, what'd you get?
15.
Cool.
And Karen's pretty nervous, so she got a 13.
All right. Flynn and Frankie, like you guys come out and you're flexing and you're like doing your poses and you're like taking your sunglasses off and putting them back on, and like the crowd is going nuts for this. And so Frankie and Flynn, you guys can both pocket yourselves a DM inspiration that you can only bank one at a time, and when you use it, you can roll a second d20 and add it to your first d20. Just so we all know that it's not regular advantage. And Drogo, you have one too. So once they're used, you can make them again.
Beautiful.
Poppy, Idafer does like try to like keep up with the energy, but he doesn't quite get there. Like he gets out there and he's like, do I flex? Do I stand on one foot? Like, do I act like a chicken? I'm really unsure about what the like, what I'm supposed to be doing here.
He's just like,
Liz, I'm loving the art. Like what you're doing is fantastic, and you're doing
Thank
great.
you.
Unfortunately, Karen as well doesn't quite manage to get the inspiration just yet. Sorry, Jordan, do you have something to say?
Can I see that the two at the back are struggling
Yeah.
slightly with the atmosphere
Yeah.
and run back up the ramp and start hyping them up to the crowd?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so you two again, roll your performance checks again now that you have help from El Drogo.
Okay.
Well, I did much worse. Thanks, El Drogo. I got 11, so.
Okay,
Well, no worries about that because Karen got a 23.
nice.
Nice.
Karen, you swing your briefcase around like a lasso, and people seem to like that for some reason. So you're all the way into that, and you actually get yourself a DM inspiration as well. Ido, you did fall down. You fell on your butt, and the shoes that you picked were not at all good for this kind of thing. You probably should leave the heels at home, but this is what we're doing now. And so you don't get booed because you're like part of the group, but you get down to the ring, all of you, and you can see that in fact the big, like, I say title belt, but it's like the size of someone's head. It's like a really big belt, like this big. It's more of a cummerbund, really. Is hanging from a chain above the ring, and the chain seems to go up like towards the ceiling somewhere. And also in the ring with you, who came down already, is Frankie. You would know these guys. You've got Jerk Jangle, who is he's an air genasi with a flag on his wrestling tights. He's dressed quite similar to you. Michael Shawn / James the Giant Heartbreak Kid Stevenson, who is a sexy human in his 50s who wears chaps and a cowboy hat for some reason. There's Teddy Fulero, who is a tan tiefling with a mullet and flames on his pants. You've got Gnome Kind, who is a halfling with a leather mask, like a strappy leather mask over his face. And then you've got Vertex, who is a long-haired elf, half-elf rock star, who's wearing like a long black trench coat. And so it's 10 people in the ring. And everyone, the first person to grab the title belt is going to be the winner. And there doesn't seem to be any ladders around just yet, so you don't really have a way up to the title bout. I want everybody to go ahead and roll for initiative, and we're actually going to take a break now. What a great picture, Karen. Thank you very much to our audience, those of you who have stayed from the secret subject. It's been so cool to have such a big audience, and everyone who has been making noise from the audience. You guys are wonderful. We will be back in about 10 minutes, and when we get back, we're going to do ourselves a free-for-all ladder match versus these other guys, and I've got some really fun D&D wrestling mechanics planned for this. So, to the party, go have a drink of water, go and do your secret bathroom business, and come back in 10 minutes, and we will be right back.
Okay.
Bye. Woo!
How are y'all doing, everyone? Hello, audience. Thank you for sticking around. Did you have a good break? Hopefully they
Do
did.
you have a glass of water?
Yeah, get yourself
Have a little
cup of coffee.
stretch.
Okay, did everyone enjoy their break? Are we ready to continue with some Dungeons and Dragons?
So ready.
Ready to rock and roll.
Okay, so what I want to know is, so the bell rings, ding, 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 and that's going to be our initiative go. So I just want to very quickly get everyone's initiative. So did anyone get over 20?
Yes.
El Drogo, what did you get?
Hand on heart, 22.
Gosh.
So it was a shame getting high on initiative because it's like that could have been used elsewhere. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, and Gnome Kind got a 20.
No kind. I love it.
No.
He's also a
All
halfling
of
with a
Gnome
mask on,
Kind.
so that's quite fun. Did anyone get 15 to 20?
Frankie got a 15.
Cool. Did anyone get over that? No. Okay. The Heartbreak Giant, HBG, got a 17. And then Jerk Jangle got a 16. And then Frankie got a 15. So the Frankinator.
The Frankinator, yep.
Frankinator.
Oh, just turn caps lock on.
Cream of the crop.
15. Did anyone get between 10 and 14?
I got
10.
14.
Okay, Ido was next. Ido got 14. Did you say you got 10, Flynn?
Yep.
And Karen got a 13.
Karen got 13, okay. got 13. Fortunately, Teddy Falero also got a 13.
Oh, we'll have to see who has the higher deck. I
You're the
suppose.
player. You go before the other guy. Who is left? We got Vertex. Which, by the way, does anyone get the Vertex reference? Who that is?
Angle? No.
Jerk Jangle's angle. I'll tell you because I'm quite proud of myself. So, a vertex is a piece of a cube, as is an edge. Ha ha ha.
Oh no! I thought it was
I
edge
do like it though.
because I thought so because you're like trench coat. I'm like, oh, is that edge?
Rockstar in a trench coat. But I was wondering if anyone would get the I wonder if anyone was going to get the actual like maths reference.
No, I did not.
That was very well done.
Honey, I stopped doing math as soon as I got a phone with a calculator.
And Vertex got a 7. So here we go. Just making sure I haven't missed anyone. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. Okay, we have 10 people. There are some other mechanics, so I'm just going to give you guys. A thing. If you please the crowd, you get an DM inspiration. If you displease the crowd, you're going to have disadvantage on your next roll. So if you want to be a heel, you can, but it will cost you. You can pose/taunt for a bonus action, and that is a performance check to get a crowd reaction. So if you don't have a bonus action you want to use, you could pose/taunt. And there's a suspicious lack of ladders in this ladder match, so we'll get to that when we get to that.
Don't you worry about that.
Okay, so everyone is currently inside the ring. So at some point, Karen, you're not for a little while, so if you'd like to draw us a little map, we can have the ring in the center, and then there's like a little bit of area around the outside of the ring, and then the safety barrier. You are welcome to go out of the safety barrier into the audience if you want to, but please remember the limitations of the slab of Kayfabe.
Just make sure you grab one of those folding chairs from underneath.
Ooh.
Bring it back up, you know.
Yeah.
How big is the arena?
Let's say the ring is 25 feet across in each direction, and then there's an extra 10 feet between the ring and the safety barrier. Does that seem fair to everyone?
I feel like that's fair.
And the belt is hanging, let's say, 30 feet above the center of the ring.
35 feet.
Cool. Okay, so let's go. El Drogo, you're first. Everyone is currently inside the ring, and there's 10 people, so you could pick who you like. This is technically you guys are a team, but it is a free-for-all.
Excellent. So El Drogo is going to, like any good superstar, start trying to work up the crowd, pulling on the ropes. And if anyone's watching, they may notice an electrum piece being pulled from the cloak. El Drogo is going to place his hand over the ropes as if looking from a tag from no one there. And out of nowhere, El Drogo appears, tagging in and jumping the ropes.
So this is a class feature, is it not?
It is, yes.
Do you want to give us a little rundown of what the Echo does?
Absolutely. So as a bonus action, I can summon an Echo Knight, which is a duplicate of me. I can shenanigans with a various combination of actions, bonus actions. I can attack from its position, and I can teleport between the two of us.
Cool.
I can also move the Echo around as a bonus action.
Cool. Does it get its own turn?
Yeah. One moment, caller.
Or do you have to use your bonus to like make it do stuff?
No, so it goes on my turn, essentially.
Cool.
I can move it for free and then do things with it as actions or bonus actions.
Cool. So you have successfully summoned El Drogo, the Echo. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn? Oh, and you can position yourself in the ring wherever you want if you can see the whiteboard.
Yeah, I like the...
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Sorry.
Whereabouts is Gnome Kind?
Gnome Kind would be probably in the right corner, right next to Drogo 2.
Excellent. We have a bone to pick with Gnome Kind, and El Drogo 2 is going to unleash the fists of El Drogo.
Ooh. So is it an attack roll?
It is indeed.
Cool. Gnome Kind, pretty easy to hit. His AC is going to be 10. Sorry, his DC.
10.
Yeah, AC.
Damn.
Beautiful. Both attacks hit.
Yep.
For a grand total of 10
10
unarmed
damage? 10 bludgeoning damage?
Yeah.
Cool. And does that have any other effects, or is it just 10 bludgeoning damage?
At this stage, just 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, cool. And do you have any other actions you'd like to do with your turn?
I do not.
Cool. Okay. Next up is actually going to be Gnomekind. So Gnomekind is going to exit the ring. So he's going to try and roll out underneath the ropes to the outside. You can have an attack of opportunity on him if you would like.
Yes, please.
Just those of you who like put yourselves in the ring. Like those of you who are waiting for your turn, just position yourselves wherever you want. And Liz, we've got H, J, T, and V that we also need to position, okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Um,
And you can just pop them anywhere you
and-
like.
yeah. And
So
you guys will have to make a new layer on the top, because I've been making lots of layers.
Yeah, cool as. Are you guys happy to position yourselves? Do you know how to do that?
I am
If you
not
want-
sure about how to make a layer.
If you want me to do it, just let me do it.
Cool.
I
Yeah,
can
I'll
do it.
let you do it, Liz.
That is totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Liz can do mine also.
Okay.
Liz, you can just do everything.
The meta.
Okay, I will.
Cool.
Manager.
Sorry, El Drogo, did you roll an attack of opportunity?
Yes. Rolled an 18.
Cool, that
El
hits.
Drogo yells, "Where do you think you're going?" And gives him a headbutt.
Okay.
For five damage.
He's
as
like,
tries to
oh no! And then he's going to go to the ring side, the center of the ring, and he's going to use his action to look under the ring for a weapon. Oh, sorry, bonus action to look under the ring for a weapon. So I'm going to roll a d10 to see what he gets. Yeah, I planned 10 different weapons under the ring.
Oh, thanks for telling us the number.
So he rolled a 7. So he pulls a table out from under the ring, and he is going to use his action to set up the table on the floor outside of the ring. So there is now a table pretty much right next to where Gnomekind is. And the table has its own stats. You can use it as a weapon, or you can put someone through it. Because we're doing wrestling, right? We want to put someone through a table. So
Is it currently
Yeah.
just folded, like flat?
no, he uses action to set it up, so it's currently set up on the outside of
okay.
the ring. So currently, you'd have to climb out and put someone through it, or throw them over the ropes near where the table is.
Okay.
Cool. That is Gnomekind's turn. So next up, we've got the Heartbreak Giant, who is the sexy human in his 50s who wears chaps. Hey, where is he?
He's right in the middle. H, right?
Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out where everyone is. H. He's gonna run for the Frankinator because he can see he can see the Frankinator making googly eyes at him. So he's gonna go ahead and do.
I would be.
He's gonna run up to you and he's gonna do some elbow attacks on you. And while he's doing it, he's like, yeah, just act like these are painful, and he's like whispering that to you. Does a 16 hit you, Frankie?
Yes.
Cool. And then does a 9 hit you?
No, 9 does not hit me.
Okay, so you're gonna take
Nice.
the first one. You weren't quite able to like absorb that, like you know that wrestlers can. But the second one, you managed to sell really well. It doesn't do any damage to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d4 for an elbow. Oh, Frankie, for that first
for an
one,
elbow.
can you take 4 bludgeoning damage for that first elbow that you weren't quite able to take like you're supposed to?
Yeah.
Cool. So next up is going to be Jerk Jangle. And Jerk Jangle, he's over there next to Idafer. So he is going to try and grapple you.
Okay.
So he is going to try and grapple you. So this is his strength check versus your acrobatics to try and save.
Oh.
He got
Oh,
19.
net 20, sorry.
Oh, damn. Okay. So he tries to grab you, and because you got a net 20, you're able to reverse it, and you're actually grappling him now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. So you have grappled the Grapple Master. Well done. Next up is going to be the Frankinator.
When the Frankinator gets elbowed, he's gonna just like elbow him back. Yeah, in the sort of to and froing that usually happens in these early matches.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll me 2 attacks for elbows.
Okay, let's go. I rolled. Sorry. So what do I add on the dice, or is it
Just use your. It's a like a regular improvised unarmed attack. So would be just strength.
Oh, well, That's a 0 anyway. So it's 16 and 14.
Both hit. So roll me 2d4s for each of those elbows.
Yes.
2d4s. Let's go.
Let's go.
3 and 4.
Cool. So he's going to take 7 damage. You are not as good at this as you thought you were. And so usually, right, when we're throwing these elbows, we'd be able to do 0 damage. But HBG is going to actually, he's like, he's going to take both of them because you're kind of big and lanky and you don't know how to, like, signal your attacks when they're coming.
No, he doesn't.
So your hero
It
just
kind
took...
of whips out like bam.
Yeah, your hero just took 7 damage from you actually assaulting him.
I'm sorry.
Next up is Idafa. Oh, sorry, I should change your guys' names. Next up is the Shadow Man.
Oh, the Shadow Man.
Okay, so he's currently grappling Jerk Jangle, right?
Yes, you're currently grappling Jerk Jangle.
Okay. I don't want to keep grappling, so I'm gonna let him go.
Okay, cool.
And
That's
then
a free
I'm gonna...
action.
You are?
That's a free action.
Sweet. Let him go. I'm gonna grab the sign that I have taped to my back, the round sign.
Okay.
Oh,
And
Bonk.
I'm just gonna be like, do I?
Do it.
Yeah.
There's no
alright.
disqualifications
Do
in a ladder match, honey. You do whatever you want.
So how, like, I know we're on the slab, but how is the audience gonna justify me doing wild shape?
They'll figure it out.
They'll figure
Okay,
it out.
cool, that's a them problem. I'm gonna grab the sign, hold it in front of my and be like, now you see me, and then put the sign, and then it just drops, and I'm gonna turn into a little spider,
Okay.
and I'm gonna scuttle away.
Cool. So I believe because you're a
Beautiful.
moon druid that wild shape is a bonus action for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you still have an action or a bunch of movement if you would like to use it.
Yeah, I'm gonna move, and is anyone underneath the belt at the moment?
The belt is in the very center, so
No.
no one's underneath it.
Okay. What I might do...
KP just said, did anyone else see that trapdoor? That was so fast. Very excellent audience work, KP. Thank you so
Nice.
much.
That was good. That was good.
I'm assuming that the heartbreak... wait, who would be the tallest
The tallest
person
one?
here?
Yeah, so HBG, which is the light blue one over by the Frankinator, is probably the tallest. We established from Frankie's name that he's a giant, so he's a very, very big, he's a large boy. There's no Goliaths in this ring.
I would like to scuttle over to him
Cool.
and,
yeah.
like, if possible, nestle in his hair
How
in a
much-
kind of
Oh.
inconspicuous way.
How much speed does a spider have?
I will just double check that.
Faster than a fly swan.
Speed is 20 feet, climb 20 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20. You can't quite make it all the way to him, but you can be either just above or just to the side of him. But also, you're a little spider, so you probably don't want to get
I
stepped
don't
on.
want to be on the floor. So
Oh.
what I might do is, like, go more to the side and then get on the ropes.
Cool. You could definitely stand on Teddy Falero. You can make it to him, or you can make it to Karen. So you could be on either of those people.
I'll go on Karen because I feel like she's less likely to hit me if she felt a spider on her.
Okay,
She might be
fair
like,
enough.
"Oh shit, it's Idaho."
Okay. Yeah. Cool. As so you are now on Karen. So you're sharing a space with Karen, and you're a tiny wee spider. Is there any other
Yay.
actions you'd like to make with your turn?
No, I'm okay, thanks.
Cool. Well done. I actually thought that you were going to wild shape into something else. So, you know what I thought you were going to do. So, never mind. We'll save that for another time. Who is V? V is Vertex.
Oh yeah, Vertex.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So after Shadow Man manager, Karen, it's your turn.
All right. The manager.
You feel a spider on
Is-
you.
The manager has a spider in her bed, and it's okay. It's fine.
She
Uh,
understands.
She understands. She dramatically throws her clipboard away out of the ring. It goes spiraling into the crowd.
Cool.
And as she does, there's this blue flash, and suddenly she's a lot faster. She looks a lot stronger. She is raging. She races up to Teddy Falero and attempts to grapple him.
Okay, cool. I will roll acrobatics for Teddy Falero. And just quickly roll me a performance check to see if throwing your clipboard into the crowd got you crowd inspiration. Oh, you already have it. You already have it, don't you?
I do already have it, so it doesn't matter.
Cool, never mind. Whose clipboard is this?
Whose clipboard is this?
Thanks,
She's
Dusty.
just doing it. So I'm rolling a strength athletics versus
I'll let you
yours.
know, Teddy Falero rolled a natural 20 because he's a slippery boy.
Yeah, Karen did not roll that good,
Okay.
so she tries to grab at him, and he ducks out of the way really quickly, and her arms.
He's actually covered in baby oil, so you grab him and he just slips. He just slips
Ew.
down, and everyone's like,
just-
"Woo!" because he likes to cheat, and everyone thinks that's a good thing for some reason for this guy. He's a face who
and,
cheats.
and Karen is now covered in baby oil, and she goes, "Ah!" and she like tries to kind of get it all off her.
Okay.
But
So
then
slick.
she points at Teddy Falero. Oh no, I've already used my action and my bonus action.
You've got two attacks, right? You're a level 7 barbarian, so you should be able to attack twice, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. He slipped down underneath me. I try and kick him.
Okay, cool. Roll me an attack roll.
Okay. Unarmed strike. That's a 16.
Yeah, that hits. So Teddy Falero's like schloop, and he's like lying on the ground, like dancing a little bit, and then you just kick him, and you get him right in the ribs.
Yeah.
So roll me damage on that, which is just
I will roll you
D4
damage
plus
on
strength.
Yeah. Plus 6, I believe, for me because I've got proficiency in an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a 7.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So 7 damage to Teddy Falero.
Just wham him in the ribs. And she says, she kind of points at him and she says, "Stay down!"
Okay, very good. You go in the like monster route, the bruiser route.
Yeah.
Next up is Teddy Falero. Teddy Falero is going to try and roll away from you, so you can have an attack of opportunity if you want to.
Yes. That is a 22 to hit.
Where are you? You're currently not positioned next to Teddy, so I need to know what square
sorry.
you're in.
Sorry. God, there's so much work to do.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm in her beard,
Yeah.
do I also get an attack?
Well, you are a spider, which means you don't have a lot of reach. If you want to jump from Karen to Teddy, then you can have an attack of opportunity.
Is he taller? How tall is Teddy?
He's a bit taller than Karen. Karen's a dwarf. He's a tiefling, so he's a little bit shorter than you.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I will jump onto him.
Cool. Okay.
I also feel some kind of affinity to him because I too am a tiefling.
Yeah. Okay. So both of you can roll attacks of opportunity. If you miss your attack and his AC is 12, if you miss your attack, you're on the floor. Okay. You don't actually make the jump.
Okay. Come on, mama. Oh, I got 12.
Oh, nice. Meets beats. So you're fine.
Beats.
What kind of attack do you do as a spider? Are you gonna like poison him or something?
Yeah, you do a little bite. So
Okay.
I do 1 piercing damage,
Yep.
and then they must succeed on a DC 9 Constitution saving throw, or take 2 poison, or
He
take
does-
1 D4 poison damage.
Okay. He
Oh
doesn't
my
have very good
gosh.
con, so let's see.
Oh.
He rolled a 7. So
Yay! Okay,
So how much poison damage?
Oh my gosh.
that's 3 poison damage, so
Cool.
4 damage in total.
And does it also apply the poisoned condition, or is it only poison damage?
It just said poison damage.
Cool. Okay. Teddy Falero is going to roll away from Karen into Flynn's space. Is going to stand up and is going to use 10 feet of movement to climb the turnbuckle. Yes, Karen. Oh, you get an attack of opportunity first.
Yeah, I got a 22 to hit. So I'm gonna kick him up the butt
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Kick his butt.
for 9 damage.
Did you make the hit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So another 9. He's taken a big beating so far.
Well,
From a spider and a middle manager.
he should know better.
Cool. So yeah, he's going to use 10 feet of movement to go past Flynn and climb the turnbuckle, and then he's going to do a flying drop kick at you, Karen. And he is a high flyer, so he gets advantage on high flying attacks.
Oh.
Natural 20. Yes. Cool. So that's gonna be it's gonna be 2d6 plus 2d6. So here we go. So he does a flying drop kick at you, and he's gonna do 16 bludgeoning damage to you. But you are
Oh my
raging.
God.
You're raging, right?
Yeah, so I take half of that.
Yeah, that's cool. There you go. And he is now prone. So he's now prone back where he started.
Okay.
And
right, he's back there
And
again.
Flynn, he never actually moved out of your range, so you don't actually get a attack of opportunity on him. The contractor is next.
All right. So Flynn, loving the showmanship of what good old Teddy did, is like, okay, all right. So he's going to turn and climb the rope things, and then also jump. But instead of doing trying to do a kick, I'm going to turn into a little halfling cannonball and just elbow to the.
You're gonna okay, cool. So this is a high flying attack. Would you say can you argue with me that what's your acrobatics score?
My acrobatics is 6 because that's my dex.
Is that plus 6 or
Oh, plus 6. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's I would say with a good dex like that, you're probably pretty good at high flying attacks. So go ahead and roll me, and especially because he's prone, you get advantage anyway. So go ahead and roll me an attack roll at advantage, and I assume that you're targeting Teddy Falero with this.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, cool. Go ahead. The
Cool.
the contractor elbow, and we'll name this move "Sign the Receipt."
I'm the receipt. Oh yes.
Love it.
GST invoice.
So 17 was the highest.
That hits. If his AC is
Yeah.
only 12, so
Yeah.
and yeah, that's
Damn.
fine. So you come crashing down with the halfling elbow with the sign the receipt. Go ahead and roll me damage. So that would be 2d6 for a high flying attack.
Nice. Come on, Bobo. Ooh.
Come on,
Uh,
Bobo.
So that's 9 damage.
Oh damn. Okay. Teddy Falero is knocked out.
Ooh.
Down
I
goes
like
Teddy.
So
Flynn
on-
goes,
like how-
we definitely sealed that deal.
Hey!
so for the time being, on Teddy Flero's turn, because he's taken enough damage, he will have to roll a death saving throw. It's not really to die, but I'm just using the mechanic as a can he continue fighting kind of thing. So that's fine.
So, because
Hit
I
him,
was
yeah.
on him,
Oh
does
yeah.
that mean I'm on the floor now with him?
Uh,
Yeah, because he was prone.
where were you on him? You bit him. Are you in his hair?
Yeah.
I'd say you're fine.
Yeah, I was aiming for midriff kind of.
If you were on
Yeah,
his
you
abs
couldn't
or
reach
some-
his head,
yeah,
honey.
if you were on his abs or something, you might have got a
I
bit
was down.
squished, but you're fine. I would say you're good.
If I was just on his abs, just yeah.
Cool. We've got quite a bit of noise coming from the audience, Flinvar. So do you already have your audience inspiration?
I have the one DM inspo. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. If you had used it on your turn, you would have re-earned it because the audience is making quite a lot of noise for your cool move. So don't
Oh.
forget to be using those, guys, because if you do big moves, the audience might go for it. Flynn, do you have any bonus actions that you'd like to use on your turn?
So I want to release. I'm gonna do a whirl of my hat.
Yep.
And flick it to the crowd, and then Welby's gonna fly out and start hovering in the air around me.
Cool. Okay, so you've got
Justify that, audience.
you've got a sweet little
Any dragon.
fairy dragon flying around you. Someone give me a name for the fairy dragon. It's got to be contractor related.
Money clip.
Money clip, perfect.
Oh, that's adorable.
So
So
Money Clip
cute.
is flying around you. The audience probably assumes it's some kind of thing on a wire or a puppet or something. The slab of Kayfabe is doing its job. Next up is Vertex. Vertex is over here. Vertex is going to so Frankie and HBG are engaged with each other. Wow, I can't believe this isn't magic. Amazing how everything seems so real. Thanks, audience. Vertex is also going to roll out of the ring and is going to use their bonus action to look for a weapon underneath the ring. So I will roll a d10 for that. Where's my d10? Here it is. They rolled a 5. Vertex is going to pull a staple gun out from underneath the ring.
Lethal.
Yikes.
And they're going to use their action to shoot 2 staples. And they're going to shoot them at HBG. Because it is a free-for-all. It's not necessarily teams. So I'm going to roll 2 attacks. 14 and 11. First one hits. So HBG is going to get hit by a staple, which is going to be... Let me see.
A single staple.
2d4 piercing per staple. So he's going to take 2d4 piercing damage. My d4s always like sink to the bottom because they've got such a sharp shape, so I can never find them. I'll just roll the same one twice. 2 and 3. So HBG is going to take 5 more damage from the staple gun, and the audience is gonna boo that. How do you donate on mobile? Hi, Gaming Legend. This isn't a show where we're taking donations. The main Yes and charity stream will have donations available, but you can just hang out and enjoy it. Like if you want to come back at the last weekend of August, we will be taking donations, and we're going to be trying to raise $10,000 for charity. But today we're just having a bit of goofy wrestling fun. You do not have to worry about donating anything. So HBG is going to take another 5 damage.
A good time to link like the mini link as well if you want to support like.
What was that?
It's not an active link yet.
Oh yeah, no, the link's not actually available yet, so we wouldn't be able to. But if you don't want to donate to charity, why not donate to RHW, which is a wonderful LGBT charity based here in Hamilton, where we all live. Feel free to. Someone could post the website there. But no, we're actually not taking any donations today. Very kind of you to ask though. So that's Vertex's turn. We're back to the top of the round. Al Drogo, it is your turn.
El Drogo!
So everyone around me is currently either out of the ring or occupied. And I want to look at my Echo, and my Echo looks at me and then yell to the crowd, "Where we're going, we don't need ladders!"
Nice.
And Penny, you should be familiar with this, but my favorite thing in D&D is abusing movement and grapple mechanics.
That, yeah.
So, as a free command, the Echo is going to climb on top of El Drogo's shoulders.
Okay.
And I am going to take a 5-foot running jump because I have the athlete feat. And I am going to a 5-foot running high jump, launch myself into the air, lifting El Drogo above me, who is also going to reach up his arms, which means I am within reach of the championship.
Oh,
belt.
Damn. Okay, so I want you to roll me a sleight of hand check with disadvantage because you don't have the ladder to support yourself on. So, it would be a little bit easier if you were standing on a ladder. But yeah, roll me a sleight of hand check with disadvantage. There is a DC for this.
I'm going to add in my audience inspiration.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
I wanted the belt.
So make sure you roll your audience inspiration after you've rolled your disadvantage, because you will need to add it to the lowest number.
Thank Christ I did. So it's a... I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Okay.
I rolled a 16 on the inspiration dice.
Okay, and what's your sleight of hand?
My sleight of hand is +2.
Okay, so you rolled 23?
22.
22.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank
cool.
you, audience. It won
Yeah,
me
well done.
at the beginning.
That
Yeah.
is really nice work. So what everybody sees is the Echo, the blue version of El Drogo, reaches up and manages to grab the chain above the championship and manages to unhook the carabiner, and the championship belt comes loose, and he's about to fall, and then a blue clawed hand comes down from the darkness and grabs the wrist of El Drogo's clone, and squeezes. And so I'm just going to roll a quick attack. Does a 23 hit?
It certainly does.
Cool. So technically, you just won the World Heavyweight Championship. But then El Drogo's your Echo is going to disappear, and the belt is going to fall. And so I want you to roll me just a basic dexterity check to see if you can catch it, because you'd be right underneath it, right? Really easy DC.
14 dex bonuses plus 2.
Yes. Yeah, easy. So the belt falls, you catch it. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you hear a ding, ding, ding as the match is called to a close, and you hear someone say, "Here is your winner and the new Yamirson heavyweight champion," and then everything goes dark,
Oh.
and all of you are in the ring. None of you can see anything. Even those of you who have dark vision, nobody can see. Don't get rid of the map just yet.
Oops.
And then you hear L drop, and then the lights come back on, and every wrestler around the ring is now replaced with a bony Oni.
Oh no!
Oh.
And the bull Oni is standing across the ring from you and points at you and says, "You will fight Bull Oni for ownership of the slab of Kayfabe." And so everybody else, all of your wrestlers have now changed into bony Onis, and this is now a one-on-one match for the ownership of the slab of Kayfabe. The only one who can win it is going to be the heavyweight champion, El Drogo. And everyone else, your job is now to make sure that the bony Onis can't interfere.
Oh.
This was
Okay.
literally the one thing we didn't want to happen.
You made this happen. Oh no!
Cool. So
Okay.
I'm just going to keep the initiative order as it is. Is that all right with everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So first of all, the one who was gnome kind is going to look for another weapon underneath the ring. He rolled a 1, so he's going to pull out a steel folding chair, and then he's going to use his action to throw it into the ring. So that would just be in the bottom right corner. There's now a steel chair hanging out in there.
Okay.
Just in case we get tired.
Yeah. Just in case you want to sit down, probably. Next up is the one who was HBG. He is going to attempt to grapple Frankie.
Oh no!
Oh
Frankie's
no!
not very good at being grappled.
No!
That is a 22. Does that grapple you? Because you can roll acrobatics against that.
Okay, acrobatics. I rolled a natural 20 plus 2.
22
So
as well.
22, yeah.
Jordan, you like grappling. Does meets beats apply for the grappler or the person who was trying to escape it?
Person who is trying to escape it.
Cool. So Frankie, you managed to slip through the grasp of the Oni, and it's going to use its second attack to try and grapple you again.
We're also oily today.
Yeah.
No one's catching anyone.
Everybody slipped.
So what's your escape on the second one?
Okay, can I also roll my inspiration
Whenever
dice?
you want. Just remember, you've only
Okay.
got one, and once it's gone, it's gone.
Okay, that's okay. I rolled a 9 on the dice and then 15 inspiration. Math is hard. So,
I think
20.
Math is so hard.
Yeah, it's like 24 plus 2.
Yeah,
20.
okay, so he only rolled a 16 for his second attempt. So he's just gonna stand there and he tried to grapple you, you slipped out. He tried to grapple you, you slipped out. Because you did both of them, roll me a performance check.
And every time like Frankie slips out, he's just gonna do the woo
Yeah,
thing.
roll me a performance check to see if the audience is getting on board with this.
That is performance 16 plus 1, 17.
Yeah, the audience is going
Yes!
nuts. The audience is going nuts. You're hearing woos, you're hearing yeses, you're hearing yays, you're hearing Frankinator. So go ahead and take your audience inspiration back.
Yay!
Nice.
Thanks, guys. Woo!
Jerk Jangle is going to be next. He is going to try and attack Karen from behind.
Okay.
So because he's going to have flanking here, so he's going to roll with advantage. Does a 16 hit you?
It sure do.
Cool. So he's going to do a couple of elbows at your back, and because
Yeah.
he's attacking you from behind, I'm going to say you can't resist these because he's hitting you in the
Yeah.
back of the head. like a bad guy.
Ow!
That's three
Ow.
damage on the first elbow. And 4 damage, so
Okay.
take 7 damage in total from the 2 elbows to the back of the head.
Can I do
Ooh.
half damage? Because
Nah,
I'm still raging.
Nah, because you got hit from
Wow.
behind, and this is wrestling.
Rude.
Radio,
Okay.
and so that's Jerk Jangle's turn. I'm just going to use their original names. They're all bony onis. They've all got different skulls on them. I'm just using the old names. The Frankinator, it is your turn.
The
Frankinator.
Frankinator is, since he's all pumped up, he's going to do one of those sort of jump kick things to the chest of the bony oni that tried to grapple him.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead. Roll me an
Does-
attack.
Fall over. Please fall over.
That's what he's trying to get to do. That's a 19 on the
19
dice.
hits.
Nice.
Shoot,
Okay.
that's pretty good.
Where's my blood? That is a 3 damage. 3.
Cool. Yeah, cool. That's 3 damage. Yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Frankie is just he's going to turn to the crowd and like just start being like, come on, like really start
Okay.
getting them pumped up because he's real excited.
So that is a bonus action to please the crowd. You, by the way, you already have your audience inspiration. So if you want to use that first, you can earn it straight back with your bonus action.
Okay, yes, I'll use that.
Yeah. Okay. What are you gonna do to use that? Do you have another attack or
Yep, I'll attack again, and I'm just gonna kick him again.
Cool. Are you gonna use your
Yeah.
crossbow or are you using something else? Like, what are you gonna do?
I'm
Oh my god. Forgot we could use weapons.
Well,
yeah.
now that they're bony onis and not wrestlers, you probably can use swords and shit if you want to.
Okay, yeah. So Frankie's going to flourishly summon his super cool crossbow. Not hot wire, just the normal one.
Okay.
For now, and he's going to try and shoot at the bony oni.
Cool. Roll me an attack roll.
Dang.
I rolled 11.
That won't hit, so you can use your audience inspiration if you would like.
Okay. 17. Okay, so
Yeah. So is that 28 in total?
28 in total.
Yeah, that hits. That
Cool.
hits real good. Go ahead and roll me your damage with your crossbow.
Okay, damage, that is 6, 7, 8.
Cool. That particular bony oni's not looking great. He's looking a little bit worse for wear. Yeah, and then next up is going to be the Shadow Man.
So, I am going to crawl off the unconscious body of forgot his name. This guy.
Teddy Falero.
That's
Eddie
it.
Valero.
This guy.
And I'm gonna crawl onto HPG. Do you think, like, with my movement, would you be happy for me to get on top of, like, to his head?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna do that, and then now I'm gonna need you to check me on this because I haven't done it before. But can I wild shape? Because I get 2 wild shapes per long rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I wild shape into another one from?
No, I'm not super familiar with wild shape, but I think you have to turn back into Idafer before you can go into another animal. Does anyone have wild shape like familiarity with that, Jordan or Liz?
Not
Oh,
off the top of my head.
Last time I
Moves were
played a
very
druid. Last time
Either I
played
can
a
make it
druid,
work
I
either
feel
way.
Well,
so it's all
also,
good.
honey, you are hidden right now, so if you want to do a spider sneak attack, you should be fine to do that. Like if that's what you want to do instead of transforming again. Because remember, we said that you can use sneak attacks while you're in animal form.
True. But I think what I would rather do is get on top of his head, turn back into Ido,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm sitting on his shoulders, so I'm just like, ah!
Oh, so you're gonna do like a head scissors on him. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Like bonus action to turn back into Idafer is fine. It just if you're going from animal to animal, I don't have a ruling on that right now.
Yeah.
If anybody,
That's okay.
if anyone in the audience has good enough wild shape, rulings or anything, let me know if you can change from animal to animal or if you have to go back first. Yeah, so go ahead. That sounds like a really cool move, Idafer. Go ahead and roll me grapple check, I guess. You can have advantage on that because of the like unexpected nature of transforming like on top of someone's head.
Okay, so that's strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be 16.
Yeah, the Oni rolled a 12. So yeah, you've grappled his head with your legs, and what would you like to do with that?
What
Cover his
kind of
eyes,
damage
blind
would I
him.
roll for?
Cover his eyes, blind him.
Yeah.
You could also do like a head scissors if you want, like Rey Mysterio, and like make him like fly out of the ring.
Oh, I don't know if I could succeed on that.
It's just an acrobatics
Not
check.
with that attitude.
Yeah, you're a rogue. You'd have good dex, right? So you probably got good acrobatics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look,
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, I'll do it.
Cool.
With
So
Yay!
all these people yelling at me, Sam, but like in a wrestling way.
yeah, the wrestling type of that. So go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check to see if you can use your like grapple on him to send him out of the ring.
Yeah, alright. Yeah. I got 8.
You've got an audience inspiration, don't you?
I don't believe so.
Oh, well, sucks to be you then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she fell over. Fell over.
Cool. He's gonna so you're gonna like try and use your weight to like topple him over. It doesn't quite work. And now you like he's gonna wrap his arms around you. And so you're upside down in the like tombstone position. And so we'll see where that gets to on your next turn.
Well,
Okay.
that sounds good, but no, it doesn't. Anyway, continue.
Do you have any other actions or bonus actions you'd like to use on your turn?
I can't use the bonus action to headbutt him in the dick, can I?
Well, you already used your bonus action to transform back from wild shape, so I don't
You're
think
right,
so.
yeah.
You could next turn. Do
Hey,
Onis have dicks?
always-
We're gonna find out.
There's always options.
Or it's just like a bony plate. Anyway.
The contractor, it is your turn.
Cool. So Flynn's going to stand up on the ring corner, and he's going to point at the bony in the top right corner. Let's do the
Yep.
right. And I'm going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter at it,
Okay.
and I've got a joke lined up.
Cool. Tell me the joke.
Now,
So
that's
he
joke.
he points his little seal ring at it, and he's like, "My barber wanted me to sign a contract before cutting my hair, but I refused. I didn't accept his terms and conditions." And I cast it.
Yeah. Okay. I want to hear the audience's reaction to that joke. Does he have advantage? Oh, does the Oni have disadvantage on this based on the joke? We've got good joke, all caps with 4 exclamation marks. So the Bony Oni's going to have disadvantage on the saving throw. What kind of saving throw is it?
So he needs to perform wisdom saving throw.
Cool.
Or for prone.
So he rolled a natural 1, which is
Okay,
okay.
good
So
night.
so the Bony Oni who was Jerk Jangle is now was it incapacitated?
Yes.
And are you concentrating on that?
It does not say concentration.
Cool.
But you
Okay.
get to make, at the end of its turn, and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw.
Cool. Okay, well, we'll worry about that later. But for now, he's cracking up because he does like a little bit of like salon humor, you know. Rightio. Next up is the one who was Teddy Falero. So I'm just gonna roll a quick death saving throw. He does in fact manage to get back up, and he is going to he's gonna make a beeline for El Drogo. So he's gonna try and interfere with the sort of like one-on-one match that's going on in the middle of the ring. So Karen, you can have an attack of opportunity.
Good. I'm going to do that. That's a 24 to hit.
24 to hit. Yeah, that hits.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So roll me an improvised attack. You don't have a weapon summoned, so
He doesn't have a
roll me
weapon
an unarmed
summoned.
attack.
An unarmed strike. Oh, that's a 10.
Oh, that's a 10?
That's a 10.
Woof. Okay, so he's cool. I'm just gonna roll a quick con saving throw to see if he can keep going, which he passes. That's fine. So he gets to you, Drogo, and he's gonna try and like use his momentum to tackle you both through the ropes. So can you make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can avoid this?
Absolutely. 16?
16 is fine, yeah. So you manage to jump out of the
Hey.
way and, like, you know, Rey Mysterio trip him as he goes past.
Oh,
And he's going to go tumbling out of the ring through the ropes and down to the floor. Can you roll me a d6 to see how much damage he takes when he hits the floor?
2 damage.
Cool, extra 2 damage to that one. He's almost hit the knockout state again, so we'll keep an eye on that. He's the one that's taken the most damage so far.
Good.
Oh, he got an
He's
extra...
the one that was next to me.
Yeah. I think I actually did his turn twice. Oh, no, I didn't. Somehow I've gotten mixed up. Manager, it's your turn.
Okay. So, the former Jet Jangle is incapacitated. So, what does that mean for me?
Incapacitated, I think, means that no matter what, you've got advantage on him.
Okay.
Is it incapacitated auto crit?
Or is it advantage?
Can't take actions or reactions.
Because I want to grapple him.
Yeah. Can't take actions or reactions. It doesn't specifically.
Cool,
call out
okay.
anything else.
I'll say
Okay.
you could have advantage on this because he's incapacitated. That's fine. I'm happy to call that. So you're
Yeah,
gonna
'cause I wanna-
you're gonna try and grapple the Bonioni,
Yes, I'm
And
going to grapple the Bonioni.
and then what are you gonna do? Then?
I'm going to try and throw him at another Bonioni.
Which one?
So I would like to try and throw him at the only other one that's in the ring, HPG.
Okay. Cool.
So,
so you're gonna
I'll
need
be
to
grabbing
roll,
him
yeah, roll me a
and then
grapple
whirling
check.
around.
The one that's holding me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh.
it's a free-for-all, Idafer. You've got to get on board.
And now it's a protected old Gregor.
A natural 20.
Yeah, cool.
grapple.
Yeah, so that's fine. You can definitely get that throw off with a natural 20. So what are you doing? Are you like doing a suplex, or are you picking him over your head and tossing him? Like, what is the move that you're doing here?
Because she's a dwarf, so she's quite short. So she goes into a kind of a deep squat, picks him up from his knees, kind of puts him on her shoulder, and then throws him over her head,
Like a
just
catapult.
like a
yeah.
diagonally. Yeah,
Love
Yeah,
it.
cool.
diagonally, head first into the other HPG.
Cool. So, can you please roll 2d6, and that's what both of the Bonionis who are involved here and Idafer are going to take as damage.
Sorry,
Thanks.
Idafer. You're welcome. At least you're not a spider anymore. 9 damage, bludgeoning, I assume.
Cool. Jerk Jangle is now knocked out.
Yay!
And HPG is also knocked out.
Yay!
So they will need to roll get up checks on their turns. How are you doing? Oh no, Jerk Jangle's not knocked out. That was the first damage that he took.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry about that. I
It's still
confused
okay, though.
I confused his initiative order with the amount of damage that he'd taken.
Oh.
Idafer,
get
are you
that.
good? Did you take any damage there?
Oh yeah, I took the damage, but
Cool.
I'm doing okay.
Cool. You're no longer grappled because he dropped you when you got hit by the other Oni.
So
Cool. So manager.
So where is he now? did you throw him away?
He can.
but-
They can just be next to each other, like in between vertex. Yeah, there we go. Somewhere there. That's fine.
Jet's
Next
over
up,
there.
next up is the one who was vertex, who's going to run around the outside of the ring and try to grapple El Drogo's legs from the other way. So he's going to run around towards El Drogo, and he's going to try like reach under the ropes and try grab your legs. So I'm going to roll. Because you're facing the other way, I'm going to roll with advantage. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity, like an acrobatics check to see if you can avoid this.
Oh, that's not great.
I got 15.
I got 15.
Okay, meets beats. So he tries to grab your legs. And you don't. You manage to get up. Whoever's calling for the ref, this is no DQs, honey. Like there's no ref's gonna save you here. Yeah. So you managed to avoid getting grappled by the Onis. And can you just roll me a quick insight check?
Absolutely. That is a natural 1.
Oh,
This is very dangerous. You definitely need to protect not only your company but the fate of the entire city that you're in right now. This is all very dangerous stuff.
Oh my
happening. Very dangerous stuff. Capital V, capital D, capital S. Cool. We're back to the top of the round. The Bony Oni, who is going to be right in the center. So the Bull Oni, or the Bull Oni, is going to attack you. Jordan, can I just have an idea of how much HP you have as El Drogo?
Yep.
That used to be gnome kind, right?
No. This is another one. All the other ones are still here. He came down from the top of the chain.
Oh, I need a new one.
Yeah, right where the big star is.
So max HP is 53, currently on 44.
Cool. Good to know. Because
That's not ominous at all.
the Bony Oni is going to rub his hands together, and ice is going to start forming on his hands, and he is going to put his hands together like a tube, and he's going to breathe out towards you, and he's going to cast Cone of Cold as a spell that just goes straight hit point blank on you, and then out towards the crowd past that. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
Would you believe me if I told you that was another natural one?
I would. I would.
Do you have an audience inspiration right now?
No, I do not.
You should have one because you won the belt.
Yeah.
You should have one because you won the belt. So if I didn't award you one, that is my fault. But I'll tell you what, just this one time, I'm going to retroactively give you an audience inspiration, so you can go ahead and roll a second dice and add it to that.
Can I make it 3 in a row? Ha! That only adds a 4 to it.
Okay, so still fail.
Okay, so it's a con save. So I've got +4, rolled a natural 1, added another 4. So no, that's still
the DC is 13.
9.
So you're gonna take 8d8 cold damage. So this might be enough. Hang on.
Uffa duffa.
Uffa tuffa.
Uffa duffa.
That's where Uffa Duffa comes from.
Yeah.
Holy shit! There are so many ones there. You take 20.
Yay!
You take 27 cold damage. I can't believe that's so
Holy
low. There's
Dude.
oh, okay. There's 4 ones there. Okay.
Oh my
You
god.
take 27
Nice,
cold
nice,
damage,
nice.
but you do manage to power through, and the Bony Oni is right there in your face. It is now your turn, El Drogo.
Okay, I want to use bonus action to try and get another inspiration point, and have a specific way I'd like to do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, cool.
I'll roll my performance check.
Yeah, so it's a performance check on oppose or taunt.
Right, 19 on dice +5.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's an easy pass. You tank
Yeah.
this magical cold breath, and then what? Describe to me what you do to get to this.
I point at the Bull Oni and I say, "Do you really think you're going to get away with this?" And the second he starts to answer me, I yell at, "It doesn't matter what you think!" And then I want to grapple him, please.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. I'll roll my. I got a 13.
19.
Yeah, easy. You've grappled him.
Nice.
Now, that table is still set up outside the ring, is it not?
Absolutely
Yes,
is.
yes,
Absolutely
yes.
is. Do you want to know what happens if you put someone through it?
I'd love to know.
So if you put someone through a table, adds 4d6 to any attack that so whatever your attack already is plus 4d6.
Okay,
Yes,
so
okay.
I'm 10 feet away from the side of the ring.
Yep.
So I'm going to use 20 feet of movement dragging him
Yeah.
with me.
That's fine.
I'm going to climb the ring ropes with 5 feet of movement speed.
Cool. Actually 10 feet to climb, but I think because you're grappling him, you'd be going up the front and not through and around to the top.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, that's fine. 5 feet is good.
And I want to use a free action to drop him.
Okay, so we're putting
this is
him putting him over the ropes and through the table. Is that right?
I lift him up, powerbomb him over.
Okay, so this feels like a really good move. So why don't you roll me 2d8 and 4d6 to put him over the top and through the table.
Oh, no.
That's no way. 5 of those 6 dice are ones,
Oh.
so a total of 12 damage.
Yeah, that
wow.
makes sense.
That was cool. That was, I mean,
What a
that was
cool
really cool.
However, I have more.
Cool, go ahead.
Oh,
Because he fell 10 feet, he's prone.
Yeah,
Yes?
absolutely. Yeah, he's very prone. He went through a table.
As a bonus action, I'm going to summon El Drogo right
Cool.
next to him.
Nice.
And using Action Surge, I'm going to continue raining down the fists of El Drogo.
Cool, yeah, go ahead.
That's a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
And all these ones. That is another 5 damage.
Another 5 damage. Cool. He is not having a good time. He's prone, so don't you get... Oh, no, you do get advantage if he's prone.
Advantage.
Yeah, cool. 17.
And that is the end of my turn.
Cool, yeah,
ta-da!
because you went through the table, I'm going to roll a con saving throw for him, just to see if he can manage to stay awake. He passes.
Cannot.
That's cool. He's good. He's just down. Gnome Kind is next, and Gnome Kind is the one who's like right here in the corner, next to where the guy went through the table. Gnome Kind's gonna climb the outside of the ring up to the top of the up to the top of the thing, and he's going to like jump and do like a jumping seat drop on you. He's going to try and like knock you into the chair that you're standing above.
Oh.
So can you please roll me? We're going to roll contested. I have advantage. We're going to roll contested acrobatics checks, okay? To see if you can get out of the way.
Okay.
Oh,
I rolled a 19.
I did not.
Cool. So you're going to take
roll lower.
you're going to take 3d6 damage, one from the leg drop. Oh no, sorry, 4. 2d6 damage from the leg drop and 2d6 damage from the steel chair. 12.
12 damage.
So,
How you doing? You still up?
Barely.
so, oh, oh.
Barely.
So Nomi Oni will be over here somewhere,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, there you go. Gnome Kind is over there somewhere.
Nomi Oni.
HVG is next. HVG is going to try, and let me see what else we've got here.
HPG has got Ida for. Oh no, wait. Is he prone?
He is
HPG
prone, yes. So he's going to
Because-
use half his
yeah.
movement to stand up, and he's going to use multi-attack on Frankie. So he's going to do two.
Oh,
He's going to do 2 claw attacks on you, Frankie. First one's
Frankie, he's just
14. Does
boxing
that
you into
hit?
the corner.
Sorry, what was that?
14 to hit.
Yeah.
Cool. And the second one is 12 to hit.
Nope.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to do 1d8 plus 4 slashing damage. That is 10 slashing damage. And Frankie, can you please just roll me an insight check?
Insight. That's a 19.
Cool. For some reason, he's looking up the ramp towards the curtain entrance.
Oh,
Like he's attacking you, but he keeps like checking up towards the entrance to the arena. Next up is going to be JJ. I think he's out. Oh no, he's good. He is also prone. JJ's going to stand up. He's going to try and so he's going to use half of his movement to stand up. He's going to try and grapple Karen.
no! I don't want to be grappled.
So 16. Roll me an acrobatics check.
I'll roll you an acrobatics check, and I'm going to use my audience inspiration if I roll badly.
Okay, fair enough too.
Oh, my dice. Oh, I'm dropping them. Oh, I'm all over the place. That's a 16.
16. I think that succeeds. He'll go for another one.
Okay. Now I don't have it anymore.
That is a 17.
Oh no! Oh no shit! Oh no! That's a 9!
Okay, he's got you grappled, and
No!
he's going to drag you over towards the ropes, the ones on the far left, and then because he doesn't have an action left, he's just going to like suicide you both through the ropes to the floor. So you're both going to take 2d8 damage. So you're both going to take 5 bludgeoning damage.
No!
And you are now outside of the ring, Karen.
No! That was terrible. I hated that.
It's wrestling for you, though, isn't it? Next up,
It is,
Frankinator.
Okay, so Frankinator is going to. I'm pretty sure he might get an attack of opportunity with this. But he's going to kind of leapfrog onto the top ropes and jump off of it like Rey Mysterio does.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think it's called a springboard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
the word.
Nice.
So roll me an
Do it,
acrobatics
do
check
it,
to see if
do
you can pull this off.
Okay. Come on, Frankie.
Come on,
That
Frankie!
is 18.
18. Well, I was using his AC as the DC, so 18 does hit.
Thank God. Yep, so Frankie's going to do that.
Shadow Man, you're up next.
Is that that's still the D4? Yeah.
Let's go 2d4 because it's a high flying. Sorry, 2d6 for high flying.
2d6. Okay. Come on, Frankie. That is a 6 plus 4, 10.
Cool. 10 damage. And you are taking HPG, right?
Yeah.
He is now down.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
You've knocked him out with
Hey.
that awesome high flying attack.
Yeah.
Did you dismiss your crossbow while you were doing that, or did you just do that with a crossbow in your hand?
Frankie did that with a crossbow. He doesn't think
Nice.
about
Oh my
things.
Cool. Anything else you want to do with your turn, Frank? Oh, actually, that was pretty awesome. Roll me a performance check.
Performance. Okay. That's 14.
A 14. Yeah. So you now, if you don't already have one, you now have an audience inspiration because they're going. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah, Frankie's doing that also now.
Cool. That is your turn, Shadow Man. You're up, and next up's gonna be
Okay.
manager.
Help El Drogo!
So you'll be I don't know if I can reach him.
Surely you can. You're back to your
Yeah, but
regular
considering
self
what I
again.
want to do.
You'll only need 10 feet to get to Noni.
Okay, yeah. What I'm going to do is Ida is going to position himself between Frankie and
Sorry, Dusty just said we don't got to worry about them no more in the chat, which is the Frankinator's catchphrase.
Yeah!
You're not
Nice.
worried about them no more.
perfect, thank you. And Ida is going to no, it's not going to be a bonus. No, I can't do that. It's not going to work. And he's going to use his bonus action to transform into a giant goose.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, what?
My God!
Okay, so it's finally out. When Idafer took Druid, we put together a stat block for a giant goose. Because that is an animal that you guys have seen before. So of course Idafer can transform into it. So Idafer grows, white feathers and a long neck, and suddenly there is a giant goose in the ring. Well done, puppy. What do you do?
so
I
good.
love how on the stat block it's giant goose, large beast, chaotic evil. Because of course it is. Like, all right. With multi attacks, can I attack 2 different targets? So wait.
Yes.
So I'm gonna use a multi attack. Giant goose can make 2 attacks with its big pecs. Its attack is called Big Pecs, which is very cute. It's a melee weapon attack, +2 to hit, reach 5 feet. So I'm gonna go for I'm sorry, I can't see the names anymore, so I'm not quite sure.
Just talk about the colors. So there's a yellow one
Yeah.
and a green
Yellow
one.
and green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for those 2.
Cool. So go ahead
Cool.
and roll me your attack rolls.
Okay, so that is 7.
7 does not hit, but you can change your target with the second attack if you want to.
Yeah, I'll change to. So that one was focusing on yellow. This time it'll be green.
Cool.
Get him.
Oh,
Get him.
nat 20, baby!
Oh, hell yeah!
Nice.
Thank you.
Go
If I
ahead
needed
and roll
something.
me double damage dice on the big picks versus the one that used to be gnome kind.
All right, let me just grab
You
out
got
another
this, Shadow
dice for
Man.
this. So the damage for this is 2d6 plus 2 piercing damage.
So now it's
Get him,
46
get him.
plus 2.
Exactly. Please be good. Okay.
No ones.
6, 12, 13, 15 damage.
Hell
Nice.
yeah. That is Gnome Kind down. So,
Oh,
well done.
And not as any particular action, but Ido does do a big honk.
Yeah, like
Not,
the
not,
flap and
not the action big honk,
Well, you
but
can
he
use-
does a big honk.
You can use bonus action to use that to try and get your audience inspiration back if you want. Oh no, you've bonus
I use my
action
bonus
wild
action
checked,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I wonder outside the ring, like this like tiefling, skinny tiefling ran up, like transformed into a giant goose, which is something that people from Ymir City have actually seen before. So some
Yeah.
of them are being there like, this one's kind of in bad taste actually. My house was
soon.
destroyed by a
Yeah.
goose.
Yeah,
Too
too
soon.
soon. Too soon.
Too soon, too soon. Just
Yeah,
kind of a...
well done. Nice one, Shadow Man. Manager, you're up next.
I grapple pink Oni.
Cool.
Big cone.
I grapple.
Who wrote
4.
baloney on the map? It's bull-oni.
Shut up. 4, 19 plus 8, 27
Cool.
to
Yeah.
grapple.
Cool. Go
Yeah.
ahead. 27
Um,
does hit.
Yeah, I grapple him. I have him in my arms. I
And I
am
hit him on the forehead.
I'm carrying him
Okay.
for 5, 10, 15, 20. And then I'm going to throw him at blue bony Oni and yellow bony Oni.
Cool. Okay, so yellow bony oni is already down, and blue one
Yeah.
is vertex. So go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm
and-
gonna
was-
throw him at vertex.
Cool. Roll 2d6, and both of them will take that much damage.
Yay! It's a 12.
Holy shit. Okay, vertex is down, and Teddy Falero might be dead at this point.
Wow.
That's too soon, Penny. That's way too soon.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Teddy's
That
taking
was.
the
Oh,
piss.
now I feel
Aw.
bad. Whoops.
Oh.
Can we pretend I didn't say that?
Oh.
He's very
Awfully
hurt. He's
tough,
very, very hurt. We won't see him on the wrestling show for a while, but he's definitely alive and well. I didn't make a distasteful comment.
Oh,
Okay. It's Teddy Falero. It's no one else.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
fine.
yeah,
That's right.
it's fine.
Teddy Falero's turn is actually next. He does not get away. I'll make a con saving throw, but he has disadvantage. Yeah, no, he's fine. He stays down. Contractor, you're up.
Cool. So now I'm in the corner all by myself at the top. But I want to send use my bonus action to send what's it? Money clip.
Yeah.
I
Yeah!
want to send money clip under the ring to try and find a 10-pound because that's all they can carry.
Oh,
Weapon for me.
Okay, roll a d10.
nice.
And hopefully it's one that's under £10. Actually, how much is £10 in kgs?
I don't know.
10 blocks of butter.
Oh my god.
Wow, thank you.
Thanks.
So I rolled a 7.
That's so helpful.
It's about 4.5 kgs.
Oh,
Half
okay.
dead.
What he said.
So Penny, I rolled a 7.
With a 7, so you would have gotten a table, but the table is gone, so roll again.
Oh,
Ah.
and too big for little. Oh, an 8.
An 8. He pulls out a t-shirt launcher,
Yeah!
which is loaded up with one t-shirt, and he can. It is light enough, so he can bring that back to you if you want. It is a ranged attack. It's got one shot in it, and it does 1d12 bludgeoning, or you can use it to get an inspiration from the crowd if you shoot it into the crowd.
Don't kill anybody's
Don't do a
wife.
Lord Flanders situation.
Oh, I know. I'm just like, oh, God.
All right, I'm going to use my main action to because I'm still on the top of the ring things. I've been terrified the whole time and I've been knocked off. I'm going to use my audience inspiration to do like a jump dive to help me move across the diagonally across the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get as close to El Drogo so next round I can heal them.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So you can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you could end up either just above or just to the side of the star.
Just to the side of the star.
Cool.
So to
And
the right.
I think from there, you also you could heal him if you wanted to, but I think from there you actually have line of sight to the bull oni who's still on the floor underneath the got put through the table. So you could shoot him with the t-shirt launcher if you want to, or you could do a heal.
Ooh.
I question why a
And-
t-shirt launcher was even under the ring. Well, I mean, why do they have weapons and steel chairs and kendo sticks under the ring? Because
Wait,
it's
kendo
awesome.
sticks.
Sometimes kendo.
I didn't say kendo sticks.
How bad does El Drogo look to my line of sight? Like if I'm like,
Oh,
you
he's
could
very
do another
handsome.
round.
I mean, like, I couldn't say, but on a scale of 1 to 53, I'm feeling about a 5.
I love
Alright.
when people do that.
So Flynn's feeling like he wants to buff up his team a little bit. So he's gonna cast Cure Wounds on El Dorado.
Cool. Very nice.
So you get to roll a 1d8 plus a 7.
You can cast it at a higher level too if you want to give him more d8s.
Oh, I definitely do because I've got enough.
Yeah, cast it highest level.
Yeah, so
So
that
to
would be 4.
confirm, Vertex is the only one left standing?
The bull oni is the only one left standing. All the other ones have been taken out. They
Oh.
Teddy Falero can't, but on their turns they can roll a Constitution saving throw to see if they can get back up again. But a lot of them are quite damaged at this point.
Mm.
I destroyed Teddy Falero.
He shouldn't cheat so much.
He's destroyed.
All that lying and cheating and deceit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and stealing.
And his shirt that says Daddy on it.
And the baby.
Oh.
I am your
roll.
father, please and thank you.
Oh.
How much did you get for healing?
How many d8s am I rolling?
Oh, so I cast it at level 4.
48,
that-
48 plus 4.
Nice. That's a
You
good
are
amount.
my absolute hero. I'm bad at maths.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine.
It's okay. It's D&D. Everyone's bad at maths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
20 hit points.
20. Cool.
Yay!
Nice. Awesome.
Well done. So that is your turn. It's Vertex's turn. We're going to see if he can get back up. He rolled a natural 1. He's not getting back up.
Yay!
So back to the top of the round. It is the Bull Oni's turn. He is going to get in the ring. So he's going to use half his movement to get up. He's going to slide back into the ring right there next to El Drogo.
Does that mean that my El Drogo clone gets an attack of opportunity?
100% it does.
Nice.
Kick his booty.
Oh yeah, that's a 26
26 hits.
Oh yeah.
for 12 damage.
Ooh.
Why couldn't I have done that earlier?
He is looking really like he gets back in the ring and he's kind of wobbling a little bit. He is going to do a multi-attack on you, so he's going to hit you for that's a natural 1. I feel like that's probably enough. He gets back in the ring and he's like really swaying on his feet and he tries to claw you. And the claw just ends up with his hand just sitting on your shoulder. El Drogo, it's your turn.
How?
Hey, buddy.
So yes.
He says, "Ugh."
Yeah. So he doesn't look great.
Not at
Kill
all.
him. Kill.
Yeah.
Kill.
I'm gonna go for a grapple attempt.
Cool. Yeah, roll me. I will roll as well. I got 6.
That's a 21.
Cool. Yeah, that you are now grappling him.
I'm gonna go for my finisher.
Cool.
Yay.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna go for the standing power bomb. So hold him above my head and do a standing leap into the air. And at the apex of the jump, I'm gonna get my shadow clone to change positions into the pile driver position. So I've got him up on my shoulders, dropping him to the mat.
Oh my God. So
Just,
you're like
just roll
switching up
all
in
just
the
roll
middle of
all
the air.
the dice. Let's say 3d8 for a finisher.
Yeah. Roll those dice.
Everyone spam hashtag buttcar in the comments.
Hashtag buttcar.
Take up car.
What's your finishing move called?
Beat his ass.
It is the Drogo driver.
Cool.
Oh, good name.
That
Hashtag
is
Drogo driver.
17 damage.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get him up. You get him up on your shoulders. You lift him up. The clone comes in, gets him into pile driver, and you like double slam him to the ground. And as you do, everything goes dark,
Oh.
and you can't hear anything. And then you
Okay.
hear, "No chance! That's what you got!" And the darkness now resolves, comes off the ring, and all around the Onis have turned back into wrestlers again. So you can see, Jerk Jangle and Vertex and Gnome Kind, and everyone's all like lying out on the ground, like looking real hurt. And up at the top of the ramp, wearing his business suit, walking like he's smuggling those grapefruits in his pants, is Mr. McDwarf. And he comes
Secret villain.
he comes down to the ring, and he has his little tube, and he's like, "Congratulations, El Drogo, for defeating the Oni and saving Ymir City. That was quite a performance, and myself and the rest of the locker room are excited to see you step up to the main event." And then he's gonna lower his microphone a little bit, and he's going to walk up to the away team, who are now all in the ring. And he's going to say really quietly, "I don't know who you people are, but you've just interfered with a very important, very expensive story that we were telling here tonight. And you're very lucky that we're not going to sue you." And then he puts up his microphone and he says, "And as for you four newbies who helped to defeat the Oni and save this wonderful city from certain doom," he holds out his hand for one of you to shake.
Frankie shakes it.
Karen
Cool.
will take it.
He's gonna
Karen will-
cool, you both shake it, and he's gonna while he's shaking it, he's gonna say, "And let me personally tell you, so there is no mistake, you're fired." And with that, the Janice and Griffiths Parchment Company away team is promptly escorted off the premises by security, and they never watch wrestling again. The end.
Flinttown loves wrestling.
So it was fake, but it was real, but it was fake, and that was the fun. That was the fun twist that we
Oh
played
my
with there.
god.
Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, that was
What a
Yes.
great time.
Oh, that was really
That was
fun.
hilarious.
Jordan, thank you so much for joining us and becoming part of the JBPC canon. It was really fun to have you here.
Yay.
You
Yeah,
DM for
thanks,
me.
Jordan.
You DM for me every single week, so it's always really fun for me to DM for you. I hope you had a good time.
I had an absolute blast. Thank you so much, all of you, for having me along.
Is there anything?
Anytime.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you'd like to talk about or plug or anything before we sort of sign out? I'm going to talk about the USAN charity stream, but you can too. But you can talk about anything that you want.
Yeah, well, 2 quick plugs. As Penny said, the USAN charity stream. Look, last year we raised 6 and a bit grand for Starship Children's Hospital. Absolutely fantastic cause. This year we're aiming for 10,000 for the Cancer Society.
Yeah.
It's only through people like you, all of you watching in the audience, that we can do that. So please come along, have fun, donate. It's a great cause. It'll be fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Little personal plug from me. I do custom commissions and paint jobs for miniatures. I do Warhammer 40k, D&D, custom minis. I run most of it at cost. It's mainly for people who don't have the time or confidence. So follow me on Instagram at Mindflayer Miniatures, or don't.
And thank you, Dusty.
Oh, your Mind Flayer miniatures.
Yeah, thank you, Dusty, for posting the link there. So if anyone wants to see how good Jordan is, and I get Jordan to do all my minis, go
Holy
check out
shit.
Jordan's Instagram page. It's very, very, very cool. So again, just for everyone who's still here, just a reminder that after the USAN charity stream, which is at the end of August, the Terrible Adventures of the Janice and Griffiths Parchment Company will return to posting bi-weekly episodes. We're going to be doing Reservoir Employees next, and we're all having a lot of fun with that. We just got one more episode to record, and then that one's over. And the USAN charity stream, we will start really ramping up our all our teasers and stuff throughout August. It's going to be a 24-hour long Dungeons and Dragons game, with which, when you donate money, you can actually, like, for example, cast a wish in the game, or like, give someone a D20 that they can use for advantage. So we're kind of relying on the audience to come and not just watch, but be a part of the show. There's going to be, I think, last count, how many people did we have involved? 62?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah,
Like
there's
that,
about
yeah.
62
Definitely
people
over 50.
in total who are going to be involved in the show in one way or another, as a DM or a player or something else. I'm going to be the host. Really hope to see you all there. It's going to be really fun. Even if you don't want to donate a single dollar, come and join us for like a wild, crazy D&D game that I know, like, we've been doing so much stuff behind the scenes. It's going to be awesome. Anybody from the cast, you guys want to say anything before we sign out?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
When I'm not playing D&D and pretending to be a posh dwarf, I am a burlesque dancer called Sir Vixen. So search me up, find me online. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Come to some shows. We're playing in Hamilton and in Whitianga with the Rock and Roll Circus. And yeah,
Cool.
I look different when I'm on stage.
Yeah, you do. Does anybody else want to have anything that they would like to plug while we're still here?
I'm all good, man.
Cool.
I'm all good.
Nate, what have you got for us, bud?
If you are an ally or Rambo identified, come check out Rambo Blackado. We are on Instagram and Facebook, and we have a website, and it's just a cool place to connect with peers, or if you need support, we can offer referrals. And we also do workshops in like your businesses or your workplace. If you're like, hey, you guys need to be more Rainbow competent, please help. So hit us up if you want to do that.
Cool. That sounds awesome. Steph, you got anything you'd like to say?
I would like to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Nice.
And that's all.
Nice.
Thank
Cool.
you.
And on that note, I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone who came to join us. Like, I know that there are a ton of people who came from Secret Subject who did not leave, so I thank you so much. Hope everybody has a
Thank
lovely day and
you.
enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Mwah.
Bye, guys.
Stay safe, everyone.